Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, John and Nez here. And we got a very special guest behind the curtain, another Dawg Bowl winner, two-time Dawg Bowl winner. Excited for that. But man, what a day on the platform. The people, the Black and Yellow Dog app, my guy, OG member of the community, Chip Skylark, big shouts, taking down the overall battle royale there, 40K. And then don't call it the heat check. Don't call it what was it called this week, Des?
The Hail Mary, the Hail Chip.
Don't call it. Call it the Hail Chip, baby. Call it the chip check. He took that one down as well. Mad respect there. We had a ton of wins amongst the community that we will walk through here, but really wanted to give him his flowers and start with that one. I wanted to get him on the winner's circle so bad, Nez, but he big leagued me, man. Me thinks he might be enjoying himself today.
I think he is. I hope he is. He deserves it. I mean, that man, what just an impressive performance by our guy Chip, man. Just hats off to him, and I couldn't be happier for like you said, an OG member who, I mean, just a grinder to like alongside us.
Multi-sport draft athlete.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it, truly.
There were a bunch more winners from the community here. I got to bring up the platform to walk through them, Nez, because there were so many. A dumb guy like me couldn't memorize them all to start.
Even a smart guy couldn't memorize them. Don't sell yourself short, bud.
Yeah, that's how many there were. I got to give you some love right off the top.
Right.
Took down the hurry up, bro.
Yeah, baby. You didn't enter because you're, how rich. But yeah, for a cute little 1K, took down the hurry up.
Love it, dude.
No big deal. No big deal at all. Yeah.
Mad respect there. We'll start with the Dawg Bowl here. The infamous Patrick Barnes YouTube. Tried to get him on as well. Might do something in the future there. Couldn't make it work today. Did you know? So I went down, this has been like a running meme in our community right now where he's in every stream draft with Davis. He's always out there. Have you been to the YouTube channel?
I have. Yeah.
It's cute as hell, man. He's just playing with his dog the whole time.
Yeah, dude. He's like, he went viral like years and years ago. I didn't realize this was him because I've seen these videos of just his dog just like going nuts whenever he would like get excited, like woohoo, and then the dog would woo, just like in tandem with it. It's adorable. And
dude,
and
what
now
a good bit.
Now he's over here.
What a good bit. Winning a Dawg Bowl seat has the dog Quincy go nuts with him to Sully. Free
Dog might be
idea.
Dog might be the +1. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. Dog. I was watching some of the videos. Dog's like 15 or 16 years old now. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Our aforementioned guest behind the curtain there, Dave. We will talk through his lineup here. Second time, maybe third or fourth time on the program. Second time in here for the winner's circle this season. Mad respect. And then Mount Rushmore's famous. Very, very excited to meet my guy in person. He didn't want to dox himself on the internet. Come on for a winner's circle. So we're gonna have to wait to Dallas to meet the mystery that is Mount Rushmore Samuelson. Pound for pound, in my estimation, the greatest player to ever play on this site. I'm very excited to meet this individual in Dallas, Nez.
Yeah, I hope he's going to go. I mean, obviously, I don't know for certain if he is. I hope he is because I would love to shake his hand and kind of take his powers like Space Jam. But man, I feel so directionally accurate with that Ramondre Stevenson pick in his lineup. I mean, I'll take the dub for Ramondre Stevenson finding his way to a Dawg Bowl final.
Yeah, because that 10 points from Ramondre is really what put this lineup over the top. Everyone knows.
Everyone's aware. Everyone knows.
Our guy Chipsy is hanging out in the chat right now saying GM, saying what up. Everybody's giving him congratulations. Mad respect to Chip. He said he's sitting at Team Toyota all day. Yeah, I hope he's buying a new Tundra with all that money he made this weekend. I hope that's what he's doing.
I think he's I think he's a Prius bro.
A Prius eco-friendly guy. Big eco-friendly guy. I like
TGP, but yeah.
All right, Des. Let's do a couple more of these here, and then we will bring on our guy Dave here. But Bound 33, valued member of the community, always jamming out in the Discord, took down DeBomb there.
Those are only Bound's second goat horns, I believe, too. I know Bound is big time. Like I need the horns. I need the horns. I'm pretty sure that's his second first place. So shout out Bound.
Nice, dude. Love it. Where was Third and Schlong, aka Third and Long? Our guy Peter Overzed takes it down.
Look at that trio at the top, man.
Yeah, just an all community member. Actually, shout out to Mark who took down Pete's challenge, the $700 3-man draft, where I watched a little bit of it on Saturday night there before I had to roll out, and there was a big no. We got a shout out from Steve because he lives in Vegas, went across the border to California to draft 3-mans, aka the Badge Bros Brawl. So he was ripping them to get some practice in. The other two guys took tight ends, and he still took a tight end before it came back around. So my guy Steve shot himself in the foot, dude.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no. Nez, who else was there that I needed to hit on here? I guess we got to look at the Badge Bros Brawl champ there. Smitty, 22, and OG TV, chopping it up at the top. A bunch of familiar names mixed and matched throughout there. Anyone else that I needed to hit on community adjacent to start here? We'll walk through the rest after.
I don't believe so. Not as far as first place goes, but man, look at Chip.
Yeah, there's our guy Chip. Joka was up there as well. Saw that one. Hook 88. I'm very curious if it's an OG poker player that went by the exact same screen name who actually lives in Vancouver as well.
Interesting.
Be very curious to know. But yeah, there's Chip's big win. We'll talk through that one in a bit here, and hopefully with Chip himself at some point in time. But we've left our man behind the curtain too long, Nez. I got the square today. All right.
Wait, what's the square?
The
overlay?
The overlay. I got the square thing.
Okay.
All right. Count me down, bro.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Winner Circle. Today, I am joined by my two good friends, John and Nez, on a special edition. What the fuck is up, fellas?
Dave, man. Oh, bringing the fastball. Bringing his fastball to start the stream. Mad respect, dude. Welcome in,
Hit him with the gritty.
Hit him with the gritty, indeed. Shout out to all the gritties on so many levels there. Yeah, dude. Man.
What's up, man?
Just doing your thing. Doing your thing. Yeah, now we got 2 bullets in the big dance. A shot at 200K there. I saw Lev giving you some love to rep ETR in the live final here. Yeah, man. Walk me through it.
Yeah, man. It was a great week. It's one of those weeks where I woke up and I was just like, everything's going to go well. I just felt it like deep within my soul. And hey, we binked. That was super overweight on the lines, super overweight. We'll talk more strategy here in a second when we go over the lineup. But yeah, man, just happy to be here.
Love it, dude. So have you still been pumping the volume there after getting the first Dog Bowl seat there? Have you backed off a little bit? What's your play bit?
Come on, man. No, I'm still 150 every week. I will 150 this week. Going to try to get that third seed in. Because, man, there's some good-ass players here in this draft, man. I need to get all 3 to give myself the best chance to win. So,
yeah, man, respect it a lot. Love that. Yeah, let's talk about lineup and stuff like that. No, sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna pull that up and take us through the team. I'm curious, where your exposures were on the whole compared to the players that wound up in your lineup. Obviously, there's going to be some overweight guys here, but I'm curious if there's anybody in this lineup that like, wow, I only had, I was sub 8% on this guy and he found his way into your shipper.
Let me pull him up real quick. Okay, so most owned player of the week was Juwan Jennings. I was pretty shocked he wasn't in this lineup. I took a pretty big stance on him this week at about 25%, which is more than I normally do. And then I just followed it up with Breeze, JMO, Debo, and Taysom Hill. So
Okay.
I had a lot of Niners. I really wanted to attack the Niners passing game.
Yeah.
I had a ton of Ricky too, but obviously that was a big fat donut.
Hmm.
But I just think I had a really good read on the slate. I was all over the right players, Jawan, JMO, the Rams wide receivers. I thought last week was pretty important to kind of punt at QB, given that the two elite QBs in Lamar and Allen were in, games that could possibly be slogs. And the skill position players in the second round, I love them all. I love Bowers. I love Tyreek. I love Debo. I love JT. I love Brees. So I really wanted to punt QB this week and really hone up on those skill position players in round 2. So with that being said, that kind of just naturally led me to having a ton of Drake May, a ton of Bo Nix, a ton of AR, and a ton of Goff. So that was kind of like the macro strategy on the week, was really prioritize the skill position players in the first few rounds and then just punting it off with a naked QB at the end. Or in Goff's case, I would try to stack him as much as I could.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I mean, clearly paid off and paid dividends here for you. Man, it's this is kind of bittersweet looking at this lineup right now, just thinking through my exposures, because when you read off your exposures, mine were like the exact fucking same. Like Brees was my second highest owned running back. My first highest was David Montgomery. Taysom Hill was my highest owned tight end. And it just like, I just didn't have Anthony Richardson was my highest owned quarterback. Like it
Wow.
just like, oh man, directionally accurate all over it.
I feel like a lot of the sharp players were all on the same plays. And, sometimes we have weeks like this where everything kind of gets concentrated among the sharps. So, yeah, man, it was nice to see my boy Cooper Kupp, the playbook, one of my favorite players of all time. I just fucking stoked to have him in there. Yeah. And then Anthony Richardson, I'll probably break even on him now because he's my most exposed QB in best ball. So good to see that.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still time for that to pay off.
And Taysom Hill, man, I fucking hate Taysom Hill, to be completely honest. But not anymore, man. Like now he's.
Oh, he cut you off. He cut you off. Come on, man.
No Taysom slander on the stream, huh?
No Taysom slander, never.
Finger was on the button, man.
Shout out Taysom. Man, what a player, man. A 75-yard rushing touchdown. Like, dude, what the fuck?
Three touchdowns, 130 yards on the ground there. He throws an interception, he fumbles a ball, and he still comes up with 38 fantasy points. Like, it's crazy.
And the week prior, he had an 85-yard receiving touchdown called back to a shitty hold. Like, this man's balling the fuck out. No more Taysom slander. I used to hate him. Now he's on my Mount Rushmore. So
love it, dude.
Shouts to him.
He's going to be a premium now. We just see now that you put up 38. It doesn't really matter who you are. You're going to get some steam next week, especially at the tight end position, and especially when you're Taysom Hill and used the way that you are. I think we're going to end up, and I'm honestly not even 100% certain what the main slate looks like.
He's not on the main slate, thank God.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So.
Got it. Well, that's nice actually. That's nice. We don't have to like wrestle with that, because I mean, you see the 38 range of outcomes. You're like, man, I can't have zero Taysom, but it's gonna be. He was gonna be expensive.
I don't know if I could ever get a Taysom jersey. Maybe Jawan Jennings or something. Even though
Jawan Jennings is much sweeter.
He's the fucking goat. I love that man. He's better than Ayuk.
Another 11 target game for him, man. Like we were talking about it last week, where it's like they paid him first. I think they knew what they had in him, and he didn't command that Ayuk style money. You said the words playbook in reference to Cooper Kupp, and it just reminded me that I had to give a little shout out to our guy Eric here, back-to-back playbook champion, taking it down there. Missed that one. Yeah, missed that one off the top. And then I got to give the puck guys. Oh, Hope took down the employee one. Couldn't be Numi. And,
let's go.
No. and I got to give a little shout out to the puck guys. Brett Boy there and Brendo both had big wins over the weekend in the puck streets. So I knew I was missing some stuff off the top there. So, all right. Anyways, back to the football stuff here. Yeah, man. I don't know if we just got to pick your brain for the best plays now for this week. Have you started looking at this slate? Dogville's already up for this week, man.
150s don't get complete unless you start on Monday morning.
I've been on in every draft so far. There's 2 more to fill. If anyone wants to take my money live on stream, go ahead and hop in. But
that's good.
Yeah, man. I think this week's gonna be a lot lower scoring. Like this is a pretty ugly slate. I think we'll see the continued trend of just wide receivers kind of shitting the bed, but I like it. I like these smaller, lower scoring weeks. It's easier to win, in my opinion. So
yeah,
let's bring up ADP.
I know you're trying to stay a little close to the vest here, given it's the last week. I'm like kind of surprised Nico Collins opening up at ADP 7 personally. I mean, I get it, but usually it's like when guys with guys like Nico, usually people want to see it first in ADP, but maybe that's just a testament to how gross the slate is, where they're like, we don't even care. Like, we know Nico is a baller. Let's take him wide receiver 2. I was just a little shocked given the dynamics of how early ADP it starts.
It's also a really weird spot for it too, because we haven't seen him play yet. We're just anticipating him being
That's
like 100% of routes tonight and play well. You know?
Like I think there's a big opportunity.
He's going to gig a nuke the Cowboys tonight. So I think he'll go over, not over on Raw, but I bet he cracks like the top 5 after tonight. I bet he looks 100% healthy, and he's going to put up like 7 for 101.
I was going to say like Randy Moss, like 3 for 3 for 100 type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can talk some plays. I told Nez and John before the show that I'm going to try to keep some plays a little secret. Last time I was on here, I just decided to nuke the ADP and kind of ruin my player takes for the week. So I'll drop a couple gems, but we'll try to keep it a little more low key this week. So
no, that's cool, man. That's I mean, we don't even have to. We don't even have to
we're
walk
drafting.
through.
We're drafting.
Yeah, we'll definitely draft one. We'll definitely draft one, but we don't even have to like walk through like full ADP and stuff like that. Maybe we could walk through like primetime Palooza together, and then we don't have to even touch on that, and then we can rip a dog bowl draft like right after, kind of thing.
Lovely, I love it.
Nez, you like that vibe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dave, you were telling me that you also like you got a group chat with your boys, and somebody like just had a kid, and you just like started the college fund for the kid this week as well. Like,
shout out to my boys in our Chattanooga. So what we do every week is we come up with 3 players that we all really like for the week, and we call it the 9-legger, and it's just 3 players. It's like our guys for the week, and we take their overs on receptions, yards, and TDs, and just parlay it together. It's usually between like plus 7,000 to like plus 12,000.
Yeah.
And we've had a really successful season so far, but we hit yesterday. The whole group chat was going nuts. The 3 players were J-Mo, Jawan Jennings, and Puka. But yeah, just absolutely thrilling. Got my buddies Debo's, his son Himmy Hudson's college fund started. Shout out all the
Himmy
boys.
Hudson.
Yeah, his name's Hudson, but his real name's Himmy Hudson. But yeah, shout out to all the boys.
Yeah, he's right here. There we
go. Let's go, Debo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out because I know you said your boys were watching, so I wanted to give them a shout, give you a chance to say what up to your guys.
Yes, sir. So. Shout out Nuga. Shout out to all my boys in there. It's an absolute blast just sweating this 9-legger every week, and it's usually pretty close. So obviously some weeks it just goes to complete shit, but this week it was absolutely beautiful, and yeah, very successful.
Great week for you, man.
Yeah, great week. Very fun. Yeah. So shout
awesome.
out to Dom, and shout out to J-Mo, Jawan, and Puka.
Love it.
Making the Mount Rushmore for my betting list. So
oh man, mad respect to that. Let's talk a little Monday night, Thursday night here, guys. Do we have any leans on Monday night tonight? Cowboys, Texans coming off that heartbreaking field goal loss to the Lions there, where Goff threw 5 interceptions, which led me to taking Anthony Richardson instead of Goff every single time this week.
I did want to say, I believe it was either Silva or Dink mentioned it on ETS or ETM. But it's kind of just like a narrative-based thing where we're in a spot where obviously I think the Lions team total was like 30, 31 or something ridiculous.
It was crazy.
We were in a spot where I thought it can get a little narrative-y, where Dan Campbell can be like, all right, we're obviously going to win this game. We're to score our rushing touchdowns on the ground, but then let's get our QB's confidence up. He just threw 5 picks. Let's make him look real good on this afternoon slate. So that was kind of just in the back of my head the whole week. So I was already really into J-Mo at the beginning. And when I heard, I forgot if it was Evan or Dink mention it, it really like solidified my take. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go all in on this passing attack. I was fading him on Raw until like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, man, Goff could really just throw like 4 touchdowns here. So
yeah,
I'll just like sprinkle him in.
That take to me is like the IQ meme. And I'm not, and, you know, like I could see both of those guys getting to that take where like, you know, you have like the Dink way of describing it. And then you have the Silva way of describing that. Like I could see both of those guys coming to that conclusion. And even I said it on the show last week that just like, Dan Campbell wants to beat the piss out of teams. Like he is not in the business of like resting guys. We saw it last year with Laporta whenever they had their playoff spot locked. And then this game against the Jags, like they want to be a team that teams are like scared of. That, you know, like high school football type shit where like you don't want to face the Lions because like they're going to beat your ass and they're going to do it in a million different ways. So I was really kicking myself not having more Lions because of that.
They also went for it when they were up like what was it 28-3 and they were like 4th and 7 and they're just like, yeah, we're going to keep going for it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, there was another spot where they were 35-6 or something like that and they went on 4th and 3. Like there was 2 times where I saw it. I was just looking back on it. I was didn't watch a ton of ball yesterday morning, but like, yeah, but I brought up my own exposures here because I wanted to illustrate how I was feeling the exact same way, but how I approached it so poorly, where I just basically wrote off Goff. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to funnel through the ground. I'm going to play the 2 running backs. I'm going to play David Montgomery at the cheaper price point. I'm going to play Amon-Ra, but then I'm just like not going to stack it with Goff. Like this is just a flat out mistake by me here, but it was like kind of like I don't know how to like articulate it. Like I just didn't think I was fucking around with the sim stuff too. And it was like everything that was Goff stuff was like skinnies and not doubles and like stuff like that. So I was really like, okay, I'm going to play this like the old school way in which we played like HN and Tyreek. You know, I was going to play Amon-Ra and a running back, or I was going to play like that. And it just never crossed my mind to just be like, oh yeah, obviously just tack Goff onto that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Silva who said like, I think he's like straight up said word for word. I bet like the Lions put up over like 45 points this week. It's always nice to get the confirmation bias from people sharper than you.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of Goff either. And it was a big, you know, huge miss, obviously, by me. I even described him as one of the worst picks on the board at one point. That was a complete misread by me of QBX data versus ownership. And when I made that shout, he was QB5. And my estimation of ownership as QB5 on the main slate, just strictly from a battle royale perspective, was like that guy is going to be owned 75% of the time. And shout out Patrick Donovan, bbm.com. I looked at Goff and he's like 30% drafted.
That's shocking.
It was not I was wrong on that ownership. I was way wrong. So that's a lesson moving forward that, you know, I think after QB3, like you gotta assume really low ownership past QB3.
Yeah, we've talked about how starkly different the onesies positions can be relative to ownership, even though they appear so high in ADP, right? Just because only 6 of them can be taken without the flex spot attributed to quarterback. So we've had a couple slates like this where it was like stars and scrubs at the onesies, and they do come across like completely different, even though like QB5 could be QB5 week over week, not created equal, if that makes sense, right?
It does. Yeah, you've said that before. And I fully agree with you.
Dude, see, like if this was a traditional QB5 slate this week and he was 70%, I would have been like patting myself on the back to just have done the Richardson thing like I did. But now knowing that Richardson and Goff were probably closer in ownership, I definitely should have had way more Goff in my life given my Lions exposure at the top there.
Well, in Dawg Bowl, I think you were getting leverage. I don't know, like a Dawg Bowl, Goff was probably 100% or 95%.
We had him for around 90.
And Richardson was probably like 50%, give or take, in the Dawg Bowl. But in the main BR, Richardson was 13 or 14%, which is still kind of high considering he was QB12.
Right. Yeah, that is still pretty. Yeah, that's a good point. Wow, very interesting stuff, Nez. I'm glad you looked into that because
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that maybe we should incorporate on Mondays in the recap stuff is juxtaposing projected ownership with actual ownership now that we have that data available to us, whereas we hadn't had it in the past, because that's a classic review thing to do in traditional DFS.
For sure.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to say on main slate and that sort of thing? I'll bring up Chip's lineup one last time just to
let's just take one last gander.
One last gander. Yeah.
178, dude. Just an absolute fucking stomping.
Same with Patrick Barnes,
man. Like,
he stomped the field in the Dawg Bowl by like 20.
Yeah, that was the best, man. Like I'm sure he was like still like semi-sweating, but like, man, that was like that's gotta feel fucking great. Putting up 170 in the early slate, like just kicking back.
I looked at, I'm pretty sure that's the highest Dawg Bowl score ever. But those of you unfamiliar with Patrick, he also works at ETR with me. And I was texting him like, bro, like you got to relax. Like you have a 30-something point lead. Like you can, if this is going to be sweat free, like McCaffrey would have to drop like 70 in order for you to lose. But he as well was tweaking just as hard as I was.
So this is something we got to talk about here, because last time you came on the show, Dave, you said never sweat, put the phone away. I'm not sweating the games. I'll check later, like this sort of thing. I was a hashtag smell the roses guy yesterday. I didn't sweat. I didn't check it until the last hour when I got home and got to watch a little ball there. But talk me through it here. Did you break your promise of sweating on Sundays for this one?
Chat. I fucked up. I came on the show like 3 weeks ago and I'm like, yeah, guys, I've started something new this season where I don't look at my phone during the slate just because it's really unhealthy to like start sweating a bunch and then losing a bunch of money that you don't actually really have.
Right.
I fucked up because I had so many shots on goal. I had like 12 teams in the top 100. So like I knew that, like this might be a pretty good day. So I looked at my lineups and I was in second heading into the afternoon slate. I'm like, oh my God, I went through like the top 100 lineups and I looked at everyone I had to fade. I was fading like 18 from JSN, like 20 from James Cook, like 20 something from Kenneth Walker. I'm like, this is fucking miserable. So going against my own advice, I was like, I don't want to fucking be like present for this. And I can't like naturally fall asleep. So I took a fuck ton of melatonin thinking it would make me like pass the fuck out. The complete opposite. I just got more anxious and my anxiety and my sweat did not let me go to sleep. So I'm out here just sitting on my couch fucking tweaking like 30 pizzle rips in, like 40 milligrams of melatonin in, and I can't go to sleep. And I swear to God, like I'm fucking hallucinating, man. Like resisting the urge to sleep on that much melatonin. It can't be good for you.
No, so it's like diet Quaaludes. Like
so I went against my advice that I gave all of you guys to not look at the fucking lineup. And it was miserable. I wish I did not look because I would have had such a nice, peaceful day. I hit the 9-legger. I would have been sweating that. It would have been fucking wonderful. But no, I had to look at my phone. I had to look at the leaderboards. And those 3 hours were so fucking painful to just try to hold. Trying to hold a seed in the top 3 is infinitely worse than like catching up, like going from like 20 to top 3. That's fun because you're like, hell yeah, my player's scoring. When you're at the top, you're just like, God, please, these games need to end. Just like, could we maybe get like another DeMar situation or like something? Like I was like, please, God, just something happen where this game ends. But yeah, God, that was so sweaty. And I will, after that experience, I know for sure I will not look at my phone this week. Just no matter how well I'm doing with my player takes, it's just not worth it. It's really not for me at least. Some of you sick fucks enjoy the sweat like that. Yeah. I don't. I really do not like it.
I do what Sam did. Sam said he didn't look at the leaderboards until Bills Chiefs was over. Like I give myself like one look, like, okay, I see what's up. And like, and if I know that I've got something, then it's like phone down and like, and I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look. Even if I know that like things are probably going well for me, I don't even want to fucking see the leaderboard, like it's just, that's how I play it.
I mean, we've talked about it so much where it's like just seeing that big green number early in the day and then not seeing it later in the day just makes you feel all awful inside. And football is by far the most agonizing sweat of it because in hoops, it shifts every like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
in
football, not to get married to it in hoops.
you just know that it's just going to be like, hey, just watch the games and see what happens. In football, like you need some big events to swing it, and you're just fading those big events, and there's long lulls between big events. Like it's the most agonizing end of Sunday sweat for sure.
Yeah, John, I don't know if I told you this. I was tied for first in the primetime Palooza last night.
So was I at one point. At what point were you?
Like when it was like almost like a lock. And then J.K. Dobbins, and being a selfish piece of shit like he is, didn't slide at the one and dives into the end zone and just absolutely rips my heart out. Absolutely rips my heart out.
Oh, that's way worse than I played puck last night, and I looked before I went on the ice, and there was a quarter left, and I was leading, but I was duped by Awin. I was like, it was a 2-man dupe. So classic.
At least you know you were sharp.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty bad week for the Auto Bros. Just because a lot of the like highest projected players didn't really get there. I know like Amon Ra was kind of buried, Goff was buried, JMO was kind of down there.
Those guys loved Kelsey. They loved Kelsey, and it made me pivot to Kelsey because I saw a lot of those guys taking Kelsey, and I was like thinking like they must have a VORP calculation that says Kelsey's just gonna nuke. So I started taking Kelsey a lot after I saw like Crash Rich and Awin do that.
How many seats does Crash Rich and Awin have? Do they both have 3?
Awin has 2, I think.
Awin has 2. Crash Rich has 1, I believe.
I hope we get to meet Crash Rich, man. This man has been just a little anonymous behind the screen. Come to Dallas, Crash Rich. Let's have a good time. The venue's fun. The house they rent it out is fucking sick. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you know more than I do. I didn't even know. I don't even know. I don't have the details information yet.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything publicly, but the venue they chose is fucking fantastic. It's where I go view like OU Texas every year. Fantastic bar, and the house they rented out. I mean, it's an absolute pad. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's gonna be a fantastic weekend. I cannot wait to hang out with everyone again.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, it sounds great. Miles hitting on something that I saw in the lobbies recently that I hadn't previously seen. We got college basketball going down now. I mean, I'm not sick enough to get in on that level just yet with all these other sports that we're trying to balance right now. But that's fun for the hardos in the basketball streets. That's great.
Yeah, that has to be super beatable. If any of you like watch a good amount of hoops, like college hoops, just hop in there and just start ripping some drafts. I promise you, the edge is so massive.
Yeah.
The prize pool is pretty small, so like it's not like a bunch of these sharp people are going to be in it, and it's new. So any new peer-to-peer game, there's always going to be an exploitable edge. So hop in there. I will not be in there because I don't know shit about hoops, but
I'll find a way.
G for Gumby, aka the S Wars leader on one side. He's saying take a week off, baby. Give us a chance this week. Don't go for that 3rd seat.
I'll take the week off, week 13. How about that?
There you go.
This week I'm giving all my energy and powers to Nez because he's gonna max it. I don't care what he says. I'm gonna force him to max it. He has to fucking max it.
I got my work cut out for me, man.
And he's going to get a seat this week, and it's gonna be fucking wonderful.
I love it.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh, of course he did. Sam. Oh, I won the first college basketball a few days ago. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Sam. All right.
Didn't Sam win the flagship GPP on in baseball?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Fucking Christ, man. Yeah.
And you know what's so funny about that, dude? He wins that for 100K GGs, by the way. I was in the finals with him. And the next day, he's in the $3 squib kick lobbies. Like drafted.
I don't even know if I could do that. Like, I don't know if I'm that sick, but
I love it, dude.
For him to be as good as he is across like every sport, like I feel like keeping up with NFL at this level is pretty tough, but he does it. He's a multi-sport athlete. Like, good for you, Sam. Excited to meet you in Dallas.
Special talent.
Yeah.
Is this your first seat, Sam? I hope you only have one.
It is.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. That's good for the rest of the field, I guess.
This is gonna be The other one that I saw today in that same vein as was our guy Chip wins like whatever it was yesterday, 60 across 50 across multiple contests.
I think it's 51 in football.
51 in football yesterday.
What a fucking freak, my God.
I hop in my first assess the ADP hoops draft this morning, and who shit is right there. So, oh man, it's spot on. Let's rip like a quick rundown of primetime Palooza.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty tough slate, to be honest. Just because like 5 tight ends go every single time, and there's a clear line in the sand, and then 4 quarterbacks, there's kind of like a clear line in the sand as well.
Who's the fifth tight end that's going?
Well, 4 go, and then you're forced to take a 5th is basically what's happening.
People are flexing Freiermuth.
People are flexing Freiermuth. Yeah. So
I think I have a pretty good read for tonight's game. I haven't looked at anything for the Browns-Steelers game, but I think we're going to see CJ Stroud's best performance of the season. If I play Palooza, I'm not sure if I have time to really dive into it today, but I might just go all out. Actually, let me see the running backs.
It's interesting.
I was going to say I might full out fade Joe Mixon, but now that I'm looking at the field, I won't do that. But like in Showdown on Redacted and on other DFS websites, I'm most definitely going to go heavy onslaught with Stroud at captain. I think this is a pretty good spot for Stroud. I bet he goes 303.
I like it. I mean, dude, this is the Cowboys defense we've been attacking for a while now, and now Stroud gets his secret weapon back in Nico Collins. I think we're going to see a monster game here. Dave, what's your take on the Remember Me game for Schultz? You think Schultz is finding his way to the end zone today?
I bet every skill position every main skill position for the player or for the Texans scores. I bet Nico, Tank, and Schultz all grab a TD tonight.
All right.
Our run defense, don't get me wrong, it's definitely ass. But it's not like Panthers type of level bad. I think, I don't know, something about my gut.
I think it helps.
Something about my gut. Micah's not even that good of a run defender, but still.
I know, but I still think it helps.
Something in my gut just tells me to fade Mixon tonight. Not in the Palooza, just because obviously draft landscape's different. But like in salary cap contest, I'll be fading Mixon. I'm going to go heavy on this Texans passing attack. And dude, Jake Ferguson's got to score at some point. I know Cooper Rush is in, but his red zone usage is really fucking good. I don't know how often we're to get to the red zone tonight, but he's going to score at some point, man. Like it's impossible. He's just running so cold right now. So there's a little flag plant. Jake Ferg scores today.
I like it. I like it. I mean, when you look at the slate, right? I mean, we just take a look at these projections here. The first round is going to, at least the first 3 picks are likely going to look the same every single draft. And it's some variation of Joe Mixon, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, right? Like that's almost, I don't know how anybody has a case to crack their way into that other than maybe, someone wants to get cute and take Pickens over CD or Stroud over CD or something. Any merit at all? Like, do you have any faith at all in your guy Cooper Rush? Because I sort of feel like I'm not like, I don't even want to use the word apologist. I just think Cooper Rush has like a surprise game in his bag. Any level of confidence at all for you?
So obviously he's not like a good real life QB, but historically, I think he started like 8 games throughout his career. Historically, he's been able to like keep his relevant fantasy players like afloat.
Right.
I think last week was just a horrible matchup. The Eagles, I mean, they're not getting enough press right now. Their defense is really fucking good, and as a roster, as a team, they're a good football team. So obviously, it's not a great spot here against the Texans that also have like a really good defense in general. But I don't think we're gonna see a dud like we saw last week from Cooper Rush. I do think we get like a blow up game from him, which I guess for him would be like 203 at some point in the next few weeks. I don't know if it's against the Texans tonight, but I do think he's competent enough to get CD to like 100 yards and a touchdown. So yeah.
Yeah, the interesting dynamic here that I was thinking through, if you're playing like super low volume or whatever tonight and you get caught with your pants down at quarterback with your very last pick, taking Trey Lance, just because we've seen that like extreme like ceiling outcome from him in the preseason there, where it's like he's got 30 burgers in his bag. Whereas, like, does Cooper Rush truly have that ceiling? Like, if I'm playing Cooper Rush tonight, it's going to be 100% stacked when I get, like, caught with it. Like, playing him naked just feels, like, so bad because there's no rushing upside there. And, like, as you were alluding to, like, he was able to keep, like, CD. I mean, it was a very different landscape, but it was 2022 or whatever. And he kind of kept, he kept CD Lamb afloat there for, like, a 3-4 game window there. obviously the offensive line was way better back then, and Zeke Pollard combo was much better than what we're accustomed to right now. But like, 235-1, 215-1, 223-2. Like it's so middling that it's kind of like, I might light a couple buy-ins on fire here, hoping that Trey Lance finds himself in for the second quarter and the other game plays to its like 35, 36.5 total with the Pittsburgh and Browns one. And, he does 14 fantasy points. Naked Trey Lance is enough to win you slate.
Man, you're a sick bastard. I don't even know if I could get there.
Welcome to the show, man.
That's out there.
I like you, but you're crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I'd normally like that type of play, but I can't. I will burn some money with you and take some Lance teams today, but man, it's going to take a fucking miracle for it to work out.
I kind of like Cooper Rush in this contest, man. I'm not going to lie.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, walk me through it, Nez. Like, I thought Texans defense looked really good last week. It's 41.5 total with Texans as 7-point favorites. The other game is only 36.5 with Steelers favorites right now. That one's outdoors as well. Yeah, walk me through just like Cooper Rush versus. I mean, do you like him enough so to like build a portfolio where you're fine punting quarterback, or you like him as in like if I'm stuck with him, I'm fuck.
No. I like him as like hey, like my whole strategy on like the lineups that I'm building is like Cooper Rush last round. Okay. And I think the thesis is like we have this Pittsburgh Browns game, divisional game, super low total, below 40, well below 40, with the strong Steelers defense, like with the Steelers offense that is just not inspiring right now against, a 40-point total, pretty low, but Cooper Rush almost certainly playing from behind, right? So I think we have an idea of Cooper Rush's usage being better than Russ and potentially J-Mo in a range of outcomes situation, right? I'm not guaranteeing Cooper Rush is scoring more. I just think if you looked at the distributions of like points scored here, I think it would be shocking how often Cooper Rush outscores Russ and Jameis Winston on this slate compared to how often Cooper Rush is the last QB taken. So with that in mind, I think you can build some pretty strong teams. And if Stroud doesn't separate, and I mean, the bet on Cooper Rush is nobody separates. And if that happens, I mean, Cooper Rush turns out to be a pretty strong pick. So I just think there's a number of ways that Cooper Rush can end up being the pick you need. Now, do I think Cooper Rush is a good quarterback? No. Do I think the Dallas Cowboys are a good football team? No. But we're playing a game here, and the game is hey, what if none of the quarterbacks matter? Then you want the last one.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, totally makes sense. Let's move to the running back position, walk through it there. Soft fading Mixon at the top of the board there, as Dave alluded to, and then pushing up some of those wide receivers.
I forgot the game we're playing. I will not fade Mixon in this contest. On redacted and other stuff, I will, like in salary cap games. And here, I mean, his ceiling is just so much higher than every other running back. You can't fade it.
He's got 30 like in his range of outcomes, like. And not like a 1%, maybe like a 3%. Like it's like he can against this Cowboys team, man. And it's been Mixon like day and night with this Texans team. I mean, it doesn't even look like Bengals Joe Mixon. And I mean, maybe it's because it's just like he's running handoffs behind, under center now.
It's the shotgun theory.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's the outside zone. Yeah, it's the outside zone stuff plus the shotgun theory. I agree with you guys both there.
Where's Warren going? Is he RB7? That RB1, 2, 3?
RB6.
Below Jerome Ford, which
I like that a lot.
Back to back expected fantasy points of 11 or higher. So
nice.
Yeah, and I mean Najee played through a legit Q tag last week, and like he was a volume monster still, even in a bad game strip, even in bad everything. But like, yeah, we are seeing the usage kind of trend a little bit up for Warren in recent memory there. 9 attempts, 14, 9. And then obviously the receiving work that follows with that. He just hasn't found pay dirt, which would make some of those box scores look way better. I agree with you guys, though, like relative to everyone in here, like Nick Chubb hasn't looked inspiring in any regard. He's been putting out 5 fantasy points every single week, only had 11 carries. This week, granted, trailing game script, they used Jerome Ford a lot in the passing game this week. So, I mean, relative to this whole like clump, Jaylen Warren looks the most mispriced because you could sell me on him being a better play than Nick Chubb this week.
That was Warren over Chubb?
Well, I'm just saying, like, he looks like it's closer than the projection suggests.
Yeah, and I mean Nick Chubb's going to go over Jaylen Warren.
Every time,
pretty much every time, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's one where you can kind of play the ADP game and maybe put Chubb ahead of Warren, but like stack a bunch of wide receivers in front of Chubb in your ranks.
The slate's ugly. I like it. Yeah. I don't usually play Palooza, but I might dive into it tonight. Is there ADPs or is it just all the ranking just by projection?
It's all
okay.
Static by projection. Sometimes the projections do update if there's injuries, but otherwise, yeah, everybody's working off the same projection. So come in with your own ranks and figure it out.
Yeah. I like that.
What do you guys think about Rico as like running back 2 goes in the second round? The majority of these ones, like, do you think there should be a tier break between like him and Najee and aforementioned Warren and Chubb and stuff like that? Do you think he's done enough to earn that kind of like respect in quotations? We're looking at a guy with 71% of snaps in week 9, 52 last week, but they did a little bit of like blowout run stuff when they switched quarterbacks and that sort of deal. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think mixing a clear top tier, a tier down to Rico and Najee, and then the rest is just like bleh. I think Rico can get there, man. His passing usage is really good. I mean, I don't think we're gonna try to go out and just like have a massive PROE with Cooper Rush. He's probably the goal line back. I mean, maybe Zeke gets in there, but I like Rico a lot tonight in this format.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can probably see a pretty strong increase in his passing game role with Cooper Rush. Just bro science on that one. But the bias for me is going to lean me to Najee greater than Rico. I think they're going to have the better game script, and I think Najee's going to get more work and ultimately outscore Rico. But I think Rico has a pretty high ceiling, and I think probably a higher ceiling than Najee. When it's all said and done, but median wise, I would take Najee.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me. In terms of high value touches, the game in which was competitive in quotations in week 9, while Dak was still around, we saw 4 red zone opportunities for Rico and none for any of the other running backs. And then last week in the blowout game in week 10, 2 and 2, but Zeke's came later in the ball game. So
yeah, and that's real. I mean, you see McCarthy's coaching comments. He's can't stop talking about Rico and how he's he's the RB1 with a bullet. So
with a bullet, the kids say. Anyone else to scroll the F down to? Like we saw CPAC come back. Deonta Foreman was out last week, but could be back this week. Dame Pierce, if the game gets out of hand, finds his way to like 9 carries if you build out like Texans onslaught or something like that. Anything?
I like that Damian call. If you get Bucks out at running back, that's who I'm going to gravitate towards.
Okay.
Yeah, Dame over everybody else.
I would just put Dame below Warren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, man. I mean, they're the highest total on the slate and highest game total and biggest favorite. So I mean,
that makes sense.
Short week second RBs is like something we always talk about in these contests. Let's go to the wide receiver position here. I think there's a lot to unpack. I think people will be scared to do the Nico over CD because they haven't seen it yet, but I think they should.
Do it. Please do it. You should. I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now as well. The big question here is what we've been seeing from George Pickens recently juxtaposed to CeeDee Lamb, who did have a Q tag coming into tonight. Don't forget that. Pivoted to a probable tag. Now we saw him, I guess it was the tail end of last game, kind of in, out. And then, so CeeDee Lamb with a backup quarterback versus Moonballs Pickens versus, what do you guys like there between those two?
I'm pretty interested in Pickens and Mike Williams. I know Denzel Ward got hurt during the game yesterday, and I think he's day-to-day right now. And given it a short week, I would be happy to attack that Browns secondary if he were to sit. with Nico, he was close to playing last week. He got activated last week. I don't think they wouldn't play him today unless he was 100% like full go. So I'm personally not really worried about any like snap counts or any injury concerns. This dude's straight up one of the best receivers in the NFL. I'm just gonna jam him in, and I think it's the right call.
Would you put him over Mixon if you were drafting these?
I personally would, just because I'm gonna try to play this a little more riskier.
I think I'd
more
want
exploitative.
him, Sam.
But I feel like most people would not like to do that. It's just tough because like even if Mixon only gets like 12 or 14, that still might be enough for him to be optimal. And given like the team total and the spread, it's really hard to see Mixon not get there. But in like situations where like you're just onslaughting the Texans, just like Stroud double, triple stacks, I think it makes sense.
I think the bull case for Mixon over Nico is the separation of projected points at the position relative to the wide receiver here. We can still tell ourselves a story about Elijah Moore or Cedric Tillman or something like that, where it's like the pass rate over expectation is going to be like still decently high in a tough matchup for the Browns. And if they get down trailing, like Jameis is just going to go YOLO Jameis ball again there. So you see like they're going to project half decently. Whereas if we go down to number 8 at the running back position, we're dealing with guys who may or may not get 2 touches.
Where's Mike Williams in this? Because he played like 20% of routes. Yeah, he played 20% of the routes week 1 or week 10. His first week was Pittsburgh, and then ran like 40% last week or yesterday. So we can get that up to like 60, 70, given this Denzel thing. I'd be pretty interested in that. Nez, do you have any read on who Joey Porter would shadow? I assume Tillman, just because he plays the X, but
I would say probably whoever. Yeah, probably whoever's at the X. I mean, these guys are all. I mean, they've been spreading the ball around like crazy in Cleveland. So, I would assume just probably Tillman. But he's a good defender. So, I mean, it's just the Steelers defense in general right now is looking really, really solid and really well coached.
I think one of the keys to the slate is being able to parse out which Texans wide receiver 3 is going to, and it might just be a rotation, but between Mechie and Hutchinson, they both ran about like 80% of the routes this last week. And before that, it's been Hutchinson just a little bit more since all these Texans wide receiver injuries has happened. I might lean towards Mechie just because he has more end zone targets, more red zone targets than Hutchinson. And I know ball take is that Mechie's just better than him, but I think being able to figure out the Texans wide receiver 3 is the key to this slate.
Let's Narrative Street here, boys. You ready for Narrative Street?
Let's hear it, John.
Picture this. Good Canadian kid, John Mechie. His brother, middle linebacker for the Toronto Argonauts. His brother yesterday, 111th Grey Cup champion Mechie. John Mechie coming off of his best game ever. Championship narrative rolls over into Monday night. John Mechie, WR3 you need.
You are a sick bastard, John. I fucking love it. And I'm going to play into that because, I mean, what else am I going to fucking choose between? Like, these guys are running like the same amount of routes, but hey, we got a fucking in the love line right there. And in the third take right there. Yeah, that was John knows ball.
Yeah, I've said on the show, I've let everybody know that I had pre-draft love for Xavier Hutchinson, but that hasn't come to any sort of fruition whatsoever. But they did run the same amount of routes, but targets were way different in favor of Mechie. But Hutch with 32 ADOT last week, so
I will say
it's not nothing.
I will say Hutchinson probably. If we were going to go into details, probably plays more of the Nico X role where he's like 6'3", more big bodied.
They are very similar. Yeah.
Where Mechie's more like slotty, more fluid type player, like more of a route runner. So I think if Nico just comes back in with 100% health, we can see Nico tank on the outside, Mechie in the slot, and then maybe Hutchinson just gets like X'd out completely now that Nico's back. Now that I'm saying that, I'm with that and the narrative that John just brought up, I'm probably just gonna go full fade on Hutchinson and go all in on Mechie. But I would definitely listen to the ETR showdown analysis today. Let Sam Broad and Cody Mann parse through that because I'm sure they have a better read on that than I do. But Mechie right now sounds like a nice click.
You guys thinking like onslaughty style builds in this format, or are you guys just like
On
going
this,
like best available? Because like the way these two games set up, it does really feel like I just want Texans Dallas game and I want Texans go Burr. But the pass rate over expectation for the Browns in a trailing script is intriguing, even if the defense is good in the Steelers. But we did just see the best offense in football, or one of the best offenses in football, completely neutralized by the Steelers defense. So I don't know, man. Like I just keep looking at this and I'm like, just jam as many Texans as I can in the same lineup.
I think on this particular slate, it makes sense to onslaught one game or even one team, given that these NFC, this is just a complete bro take, and I'm sure Nez can comment to this, but like these NFC North divisional games are just so sloggy and so ugly, it feels like most of the time, unless it's like Bengals Ravens. Mm-hmm. So I would be totally cool just completely onslaughting Texans, get Cowboys, and fading out the Thursday night game altogether. Like you said, we've seen Jabo like really shit the bed against good defenses. Divisional game, it's outside. Give me the Texan onslaughts.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Does feel that way. Anything else you guys want to say at the wide receiver position? All the Cleveland guys saw some nice deep targets and touchdowns and blah, blah, blah last week. We could debate till we're blue in the face whether it's Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, that sort of thing as like a pop-off play. Nez, do you have a read on Steelers stuff that you'd want to be clicking, or you just don't care?
No, I have a pretty tough read on it. I was kind of back and forth between watching the Steelers and Red Zone and whatnot yesterday, so didn't take like a deep dive into it. But it sounds like Mike Williams was running routes because he doesn't have a single stat to his name. But that's just kind of the way that game played out. So I'm interested in Mike Williams if he was actually out there on the field.
He was on the field for 40% of snaps, so I think it's safe to assume he was 20 the week before, 40 this week. I think like conservative projection, we could like put him like at 60, and then there's upside for like 100, or not 100, but like 75 plus. They're just like a full-time player.
You know who mixed in at the same frequency as Mike Williams? Well, not quite. Played 5 less snaps, but played 20-something%, 26% of snaps.
Van Jefferson?
Van Heffe?
No, Van Jefferson played 55.
Oh, Ben Skoranek.
Ben Skoranek.
Yeah,
Rams legend, fake Cooper Kupp.
So they did some really cool stuff with him. I saw where they brought him out, put him like right alongside Darnell Washington, and ran like giga power with those two. And Skoranek kicked ass like all game. Yeah, he was used as like a 8th lineman with Darnell Washington. This
is purely anecdotal. He feels like an Arthur Smith guy, doesn't he?
Yes,
and Skoranek.
I mean, it's like a combo of Arthur Smith and like Mike Tomlin and Steeler football, just like hard nosed. Like you're not out here to run routes, brother. Like you're blocking outside linebackers.
Yeah,
17% of the routes, 17% of the routes, 3% target share, 4 ADOT.
Yeah, let Skoranek cook, baby. Let him
points per pancake. He's the 101.
There he is, baby. With the 0 projection down here, we could get that sweet 0.9 in our lives as I scroll the F down. Oh shit. All right, guys, let's talk about tight end. Should we be prioritizing tight end and pushing them up? Should we do double tight end builds just given how poorly the flex position will project relative to some of our normal 2-game slates? Like, is there merit in doing like Ferg Schultz at like 8-9 or something when you're the 1-0-1 and you take like Nico first and you punt the running back, or is that a wasted flex spot?
I like it this week, especially being able to like trap out some of your opponents in the lobby. At tight end, I'll be over the field on it if I do Mass Enter Palooza tonight. I like it.
Yeah, I think I would do it with punt QB.
Punt QB, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I would like to do it with punt RB. I'm not really trying to punt RB at all today.
Okay,
that's
so
part of it.
let's flip that. Let's do Mixon at the 101, and then you do Ferg Njoku or Ferg Schultz, whatever you like, at 8-9, knowing that you're going to get a Cooper Rush stack, and then you just fill in the 2 wide receiver spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through that.
My IKB, I know ball take is that both Schultz, Ferg, and Njoku all score on the slate.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck that's worth, but that's how I would be playing it.
It means we got to prioritize it a little bit at least.
Yeah. You guys are talking me into this. I don't normally play Palooza, but I'll be in the prime time streets today.
Do it while you're waiting for a dog pool to fill.
There you go.
Yeah, let's wrap this up soon. Let's talk some real fucking ball. Like I'm itching to get in a dog bowl.
All right, we gotta put our takes to the test here first.
All right.
Chat, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give away all the. Oh my God, I'm getting location error. Underdog, if you're watching this, please, God, can we fix this? Because like, oh man, I get so many location errors, and it's horrible.
Yeah, the geolocation stuff is they're hawks, man.
They're just really strict.
It might just be like this dude's on this app all day. Like, there's no way he's human. Like, he's a fucking bot. There must be something wrong.
Yeah, it's like their Netflix. Are you still watching?
This is I didn't know we were such a pro Benny Skowronek's stream here. I love this. I mean, like Winky being a Rams guy, that checks out.
Winky knows ball. Anything he has to say about the Rams, I take it too hard. So it's just like, yeah, he's gonna be there blocking, but like, how does he get there? Like, it would have to be like a play action where he just runs across her and like somehow gets in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
You would need like 3 Steelers touchdowns on defense and special teams, and then it's garbage time. And now Benny Sko.
Yeah.
Hey, if there was ever a quarterback to score 3 defensive scores against, it's YOLO Jameis, bro.
You're not wrong.
Actually, there was a sick interception by the Steelers rookie yesterday. I can't remember the kid's name.
Is it Wilson?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the linebacker. He's cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I wanted the Cowboys to draft him.
That was nuts.
Okay, so I think we're kind of all in agreement here that it's Nico over CD on this slate.
I would play.
Yeah, this might be like I don't know if anybody's taking CD over Nico here.
In theory, that should funnel us to being overweight Shroud, though.
Agreed.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Man, if that holds and you can get like 30% Nico today because of it, and it looks like you can, because even Coopjo is taking Pickens, like you can get a fuck ton of Nico today, man.
I'm gonna try to have like 70% Stroud Nico. If I don't even know if that's possible. Again, I don't play these slates too much, but
so Pickens goes over Lamb there. Shroud goes at 5. Najee goes in front here to Coop. Quarterback's bad, in my opinion. I think you got to make a decision between Rico and Tank.
Rico, yeah.
You guys like Rico over Tank then, especially given the fact that CJ's gone?
In this situation, yeah. Just because.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's a tier drop off after Rico to Chubb. So, and there's a chance like Tank comes back.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
There we go. So now we take Tank without the quarterback. It feels good, right? And I mean,
you got to build the best team you can.
Yeah. Now just punt onesie or punt QB and just take best skill positions for the rest of the draft.
Mm-hmm. I guess there was a narrative there to pass on Tank and take Ferg and then build out Dallas, kind of accepting the fact that we will most likely end up with Cooper Rush as our quarterback at 23.
I think that was a fair suggestion.
Yeah.
Now we'll fuck that or a tight end.
Well, almost.
Well, I know we can take the move.
I think Cujo should have taken Freiermuth there. I know he's a fan of the show here, but that's probably what I would have done. So you take this guy can still take a second tight end.
Yeah, I take Chubb though. And just push it.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you guys prefer Chubb, Warren, or Tillman?
Chubb, definitely.
All right.
I'd take Chubb here, but when I'm playing, I'm probably just going to go overweight Warren, underweight Chubb.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
then you just trust him to not double up on tight end, but that is the spot where you do get boxed out.
Yeah,
At
that was
tight
good.
end.
That was a good decision there. There was too many good flex options.
Is there a scroll the F down at tight end here that
Darnell
we could?
Washington,
Cade Stover, man.
Yeah.
the
Well,
Rook.
yeah, let me pull up some of his numbers. I think they look remotely promising for what he is. 1 second.
The last time we had Stover on a 2-game Palooza slate, it was actually without Schultz that week, and he did poo-poo because we did him in all the pick'ems for 19 and a half yards, and he put up a goose egg. I think it was that Jets game.
He has run basically 30% of the snaps every week since like week 6. And the thing is, his ADOT is a little bit higher for a tight end. It's like around 11. So you can kind of tell yourself a story like maybe he goes like 2 for 23 and 1 and just like somehow cracks the optimal that way if everyone else fails. I'd probably go him over Washington, but honestly don't know a ton about Washington besides that he's a lineman. Maybe Nez can.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Huge.
There's not a soul in Pittsburgh that doesn't want more Darnell Washington targets, because like you get this dude the ball in his hands, and like who wants to tackle this guy? Like nobody. And
Right.
he's got 4 targets to Freiermuth's 3 yesterday in last week's game. You're seeing a little bit more usage for him. Specifically, I'll pull up the usage here, but I think there's a little something there. I mean, Steelers run a ton of power. I mean, he's
athletic as fuck for a dude who's like 6'7", 230 or whatever he is, 240.
Yeah, dude, he's a monster. 34% routes. That is good for a raw number of 14 routes. 11 ADOT. So it's not like they're just like, dumping off shit to him. An end zone target to go with that. And he's an absolute mammoth. So
All right.
I think I'll probably be like underweight just because the way I'm playing this, I really want to have exposure to Njoku, Schultz, Ferg.
Agreed.
Which is like the IKB take for me is like they all score on the slate.
Yeah.
And it will be kind of tough for Washington or like even Stover to get there. But like in situations where they all fail, you're kind of printing with that and all the leverage you get. I'm sure I'm not doing ownerships for primetime Palooza, but I'm sure they're like sub 25% drafted, maybe a little more depending how often people are flexing the tight end. But
on this slate in particular, I think the flex tight end is going to be in play more so than usual. So I think Washington would be boosted a little bit just be given his projection, but like Stover's going to be like less than 8%.
I like it.
Yeah, very low for him.
Fellas, why don't we get into a dog bowl so I can scratch this itch?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's
fellas, let's go.
Let's fire up. I want to ask you guys one last question with this slate here. So Mike Dubb goes there, Elijah Moore goes there. Brought up in the chat here by Evan was we didn't really talk about Jonathan Mingo after the trade. They gave up a 4th for them. Is there any way he like usurps like Tolbert's usage or takes over like Brooks's usage, Jalen Brooks' usage? Like, is there any reason to click him?
The coach speak has been really good, but McCarthy's also a fucking donkey. So like, I don't know how much to credit that. I will sprinkle just because I honestly really liked him as a prospect, and I think he's good, even though like every single underlying metric is horrific. Clay. I will have some in this contest just because why not? All right, I'm in.
Let's do it. First dog bowl of the week with the 2-time dog bowl champion here. Click in. See how many seats we got.
You're in.
Oh my god, I almost didn't make it. You sickos.
I bet you get the
I was
107.
blasting you in the private chat. Like,
I saw
come
that.
on, dude.
Blasting you in the private chat as if I would fucking see that.
Who's gonna take my money today? Let's see. We got Crutches in here. We got Dan.
It's usual suspects.
The usual suspects. Yeah. Look at that influencer 101, John. This is rigged.
Without a doubt, baby.
Dude
Without
needs
a
it.
doubt.
Dude needs
I need it after Martin Gailing, Debo Samuel for the 1100th straight week. Debo Samuel is my Tony Pollard this year.
I'm gonna do it again this week. I'm gonna
Fucking Debo redacted soon.
That's a nice ring to it. I kind of like it. Debo redacted. I'm gonna martingale. I guess I'll just say this now. Like he's going like in the 30s.
Here we
Come
go.
on, guys. Like, what are we doing? This dude,
Yeah.
I know hasn't hit this season, and I don't know if he's playing through it, like a hidden injury or what's up. But like his splits historically without Ayuk have been like insane, like elite wide receiver one / running back usage.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't really clicked. I don't know if that's because like they're really scheming up more touches for Jawan, which is totally reasonable. I fucking love Jawan Jennings. He's a legit wide receiver one. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do next season when Ayuk comes back, but
somebody's probably getting moved.
Yeah, I'm martingaling Debo until he hits me and everyone else on the ETR team. So have fun looking at that projection when it comes out Wednesday.
I mean, the Debo season has been terrible, man. I have him on 38 teams. How many teams do you think I have advancing with Debo?
4.
It's generous. It's 2. 2 advancing teams with Debo. That's good for 5%. Across the field, Debo advance rates are 14%. So people are drafting Debo teams better than me, probably because I was treating him like Debo Samuel. So
hey Nez, last time I was on the show, I brought up our little side bet between Tank and Diggs.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Talk about run bad. I mean, unreal. That was looking like an all-timer for me. I was even going to maybe let you off easy.
I don't even think that Tank at this point has outscored Diggs, so there's like there's still a chance that you can win this bet somehow.
I know.
Let's see what we got going on. We got Tyreek going 7, 8, 8. What are y'all doing about that? Because I mean, it's just a weird situation, man. Like he's getting no deep usage. Everything they're getting to him is like just like below 10 yards of A.
It's weird, man.
It's weird. It's not like he can't run downfield. Like it's not like his hammy's injured. It's his wrist. So it's like I don't know. It's really tough to parse through.
I have no. I truly have no idea what to make of it. I don't know if it's the wrist. I don't know if it's Tua not being 100% post concussion. I don't know if defenses have figured out the proper way to scheme, and I don't know if it's Jalen Waddle not being a threat at all. Like maybe the lack of threat of Jalen Waddle is changing the way teams can game plan around these Dolphins. I think it's a combination of everything, to be honest.
That this Waddle usage is just insane, man. I have nothing.
Waddle outsnapped him this week.
He certainly outscored him.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, what is up with Waddle? Like genuinely, he's the conundrum of the season, right? I mean, he has no injuries that we know of.
Well,
Lord knows we'll get one, but
he was a faller at the tail end of BBM season because of the Q tag, and he has missed.
He rose so much for no reason.
Well, yeah, all the model bros loved him, right? And then
silly.
He's played through the Q tag a couple times, but he hasn't missed yet. I think it's 2 weeks that he played through Q tag, but they weren't like big Q tags, and they were early in the season Q tags when Tua was there. I don't know, man. Maybe they just found something in Achane that they love so much more. Like
I really think this is more of an Achane signal than anything else.
Yeah,
but like Achane was unbelievable last year, and these guys still were able to get theirs. I haven't compared the Achane nuke game logs to Waddle's game logs, but Waddle has been horrific this season. I mean, the Waddle advance rates for BBM this season, let's just take a look because they have to be terrible.
How many?
10%.
Surely I don't have 30% in my best ball bags, right?
Not you, Dave.
When do you get Sam Sherman on the show to break this down?
22 shares?
From what I'm seeing from D4VE.
Oh, and BBM?
22 shares in BBM, yeah.
Oh.
How many do I have? I'd venture to guess I have under 8.
I have 10. You have 10 as well. Advancing none.
Yeah.
Guys, the thesis on the play is that he'd be leverage when the playoffs come, obviously.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. To be
you
quite
gotta
honest,
make it first,
matters.
bro. You gotta make it first.
Yeah. To be quite honest, all this pretty much everybody was making their decisions based on the playoffs, right? And I mean, that's everybody's like taking victory laps on the anti-elite tight end thesis, and I also didn't take a lot of elite tight ends, but my advance rates aren't crushing because of it. So it's like, who even cares? But the thesis for elite tight end is when it matters most, they can put up the points you need. So I think all the, I'm just seeing some victory laps in best ball Twitter, like literally we're all playing for the finals. So there's just simply no point in taking these premature victory laps, in my opinion, other than Bijan, because like that was just a great stance.
It will be a fucking miracle if I win anything in best ball this season.
Yeah, famous last words, bro. I mean,
hey, all it takes is one. We just need one.
All right, Pacheco.
He probably falls further than this, eh?
Yeah,
It's Carolina.
Are we like locking him to play this week? Because Kareem Hunt has gone undrafted on like the 3 drafts I've done so far.
That's an easy swap for a guy who's going to get 4 points.
Famously, right?
He's so bad. I won't drop it.
I know you won't for whatever reason. I mean, yeah. John hates that Kareem Hunt scores a lot of fantasy points.
I was looking at who was chasing me on the leaderboards yesterday, and I see like, okay, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, and then there was like this one Hunt team that was like 19 behind. I was like, oh, I'm fine. I don't even have to worry about that one.
Yeah, don't have to worry about it for real.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how Isaiah Pacheco is going to come back off ankle surgery.
Yeah, the Liz Frank, whatever,
and get 50.
This is
50% of the touches.
A great spot for him, but like, I know it's against the Panthers, but this is one of those. I know I was talking about like wait and see for Nico earlier. I'm pretty confident Nico's good. With Pacheco, like there's a pretty high percentage chance that one, he just doesn't look as explosive, and two, he doesn't even get the usage.
Yeah, like, he gets maybe he just only plays carries, like 8 carries.
Yeah. I'm probably leaning to a fade, and I'm just going to hammer the passing attack and hope it just goes through the air. I
see you took Marv. Even when you're not stacking Kyler, you're still stacking Kyler.
Post by rookie bump, fellas. Marv's going to break the slate this week.
Cool. Yeah,
it didn't take long to get all the plays out of Dave. I love it. Nah, guys, I'm a steel trap this week. Sorry.
Oh, maybe I'm just gaslighting y'all. Like, we'll see. Maybe
you
a little game theory here of me
to do
saying
terrorism.
Yeah, little game theory here, just saying like, yeah, guys, I think Alec Pierce is going to project really well in the ETR rankings this week. You guys should take him.
So take us, behind the screen of you right now. Do you build ranks like as soon as the ranks are up to be built, or are you going off ADP and perusing in real time?
I never like go into like the rankings side of things and like click like, oh, I'm gonna like put this in order. But I like in my head, I have a general idea of like where players should be going, and it's just like I've touched this before on stream, just like trying to project where our team is gonna place the decimals on these players and trying to beat that. So right now, I don't really have any player takes. I mean, I have Marv. Marv's gonna fucking nuke the slate. He might make the 9-legger this week, but I don't think he'll project well by any means. He'll probably just be middle of the pack. But with these rookies, man, like these elite rookie wide receivers, just blindly bet on them after the bye, and good things will happen over a long enough time frame. So give me all the Marv in the world. And like these games are fucking ugly this week, man. The total on the Seattle Cardinals game is like 47, 48, I think. It's probably one of the higher ones on the slate. So that in itself is probably, I mean, Lions is definitely one at 50. And then it's kind of like it's a tie between, New England Dolphins at 46 and then Cardinals Seahawks at 47. So go take Drake May. He'll project well.
Yeah, I think he might get the Bo Nix treatment of last week. Exactly, looking through stuff here, where like Bo Nix last week was like, oh yeah, he's QB 10, 12, whatever, and then he just slowly pushed up over the course of the week. Pretty surprised to see how low Anthony Richardson is right now.
Come on, guys, just take him blindly. Like, why is he all the way down there? I know he sucks.
Yeah, I could see him pushing up there.
He didn't even play that bad yesterday. I thought he looks pretty good. So maybe
amazing.
The confidence might be back. Yeah. So
2 rushing touchdowns, 270 yards. He made that throw from his hip that was like underhand that would look disgusting. Crazy. I want to talk through a couple ADPs here, guys. The Malik Neighbors one at 12. We get the Tommy quarterback change on that one. That one sticks out to me. Obviously, we've talked about the Nico one a little bit. Some things could change tonight pending their performance kind of deal. Nez going with Bucky Irving here. It's been noted by like the season-long community that the Bucks have like a really soft, in quotations, matchup schedule for the remainder of the regular season for running backs. So going Bucky over Rashad White there coming out of the bye. Yeah, that one feels kind of sharp to get ahead of there. And then I want to talk about 101 because Christian McCaffrey has kind of come back to the usage and he's kind of like got the safe floor right now, but he hasn't found the end zone in 2 weeks. And yeah, we still just CMC's 101 and like we're not concerned.
Yep, just blindly take. I don't care. He'll fall into the end zone 2 or 3 times and everyone's gonna be like, oh, there's CMC.
Right.
Yeah, I saw somebody made a comment in the chat, and I'm not trying to pick on them, but they were like, we haven't seen the ceiling yet from CMC. But if you play DFS waiting to see something before you play it, like you're not gonna win any money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not gonna realize it.
This slate is so fucking ugly, man. I love it.
I kind of like it, man. I'm not gonna lie. I see.
I like it.
It's
like,
just
it's gross.
Yeah. I wish there was less ambiguity with the Denver backfield, but maybe it's just you just play Javonte. But I'm a little concerned about the usage back there in a spot that I think against Las Vegas, where I think Denver's the much better team. I would love to have some certainty on who's the RB1 there because I would play them. That's
a situation I'm just gonna wait for like later in the week and see if there's like any new information that I can parse through because right now I feel like I'm just throwing darts.
Mm-hmm.
But once I get a better read on it, that's a situation I will be attacking.
All
right. I stack up this San Fran stuff because I can't quit it after 2 weeks of healthy San Fran. Do the CMC, Juwan Jennings, Brock Purdy thing, then the Hunter Henry as one-off, and then Isaiah Pacheco was a bad pick in hindsight. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's your first one. We're good. Purdy has played so damn well this season. He's going to break the slate one of these weeks.
Yeah, I would love this game to be what their playoff matchup was, right? Or did Green Bay play Detroit in the playoffs?
Green Bay played Dallas and went nuke, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then in round 2, I think they played San Francisco.
Yeah, they win.
And they almost won. They had a great game. So I would love to see another shootout there. I mean, 2 teams. Well, Green Bay just won, but the Niners. I mean, they won't.
Dude, NFC West fun, dude.
But like they need to win some fucking football.
Arizona 6-4, and then everyone else is 5-5.
Yeah, I mean, you lost. You cannot lose that game to the Seahawks that they just lost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. So not that the Seahawks are bad, obviously divisional implications. So every team's playing to win. There's some extra fight in this one, I think. Yeah, no, I respect that for sure. Just wanted to hit on something that our guy Copper Prices is talking about in the chat. There's so much love for Audric Estime and blah 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 as coach speak. Like he's in complete zero in the passing game, and it's just like kind of like early down grinder. And I think that's kind of what got reflected in this game, though the Broncos were never trailing. But he's asking about Javonte earning back the coach's love when you were talking about some ambiguity in that backfield there, Nez. We saw Javonte go back to leading the team in snaps and in routes out of the running back position. Estimate down to only 14 snaps, 23% of them. And then the high value touches like the red zone stuff, 2 for Javonte, 1 for fullback Michael Burton, and nothing else there at the running back position. So I don't know. That's kind of an interesting one that you brought up that we'll suss through this week here, Denver backfield. Yeah, I think it's worth trying to get right. Because I think they are a much, much better team than Vegas. I mean, I've been saying it all season long that these Broncos are a good team. And and I think they're trending in opposite directions from the Raiders right now. There's that Javonte line, 9 for 59 and 1, 4 receptions for 28. Look at that Kansas City line. Like, God, what the hell?
Hey, Estime was on the Millie Maker yesterday, so shouts to him.
Yeah, full salary relief, right?
Yeah, it was 4,500.
Yeah, because he was in the cash game pool as well. I didn't touch it because anyone with a brain played 3 strong running backs, but yeah, there were people talking about it early in the week as salary relief at the running back position for cash too. I was like, holy fuck.
Actually, never mind. I don't want to say it. There's a
you got to say it. You're on the stream, dude. This is part of being a content pro now. You got to give out the good picks.
Ricky Pearsall here. I mean, I know he didn't do good this week, but if he's going to be going the 6th round every time, I'm going to have 25% plus. It was the same thing with Jawan last week. I saw him going the 6th round consistently. And again, it was part of the process. Like, I thought he would project well and we'll have him a little higher in ranking. So I just went kind of all in. But I mean, one of the highest totals of the week, supposedly good game environment. This dude can, I mean, I think blindly firing or blindly being overexposed to every 49ers skill player is just a good strategy. And I'll do it every week. I mean, this past week, 3 of my top 5 most owned guys were Debo, Jennings, and Slick Rick. So
yeah. The other one I was thinking through here, like some sneaky Q tags, and it's clearly not sneaky anymore because Mike Williams is pushed Mike Evans is pushed way up. I'm trying to think through like some other guys who are potentially coming back or out of the bye. And
in this
like
lobby, it's going to be few and far between.
Yeah, this lobby will be tough.
How about Kendrick Bourne, man? I mean, the OWS guys were all over him last week. Goes 5 for 5. I think if you're doing Drake May stuff, he makes some sense to incorporate. I think. I mean, been a Kendrick Bourne fan for a really long time.
K Boogie, I like him. I like his nickname. I don't like him as
That's
a person,
sweet name,
but I like his nickname. To recap some of these teams, let's see what the fellas did here.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, man. So when Mixon, this is just a case of he'll probably project in the top 5. I don't like the matchup by any means, but they're gonna have a high team total. Do they play in a dome? Let me check. Versus is this? Yeah, it's at home. Probably high team total. Just blindly bet on the running back that's gonna have a lot of carries at the goal line. Jaden Daniels, his ADP 7 right now, and I keep getting him in the 20s.
Nice.
I'm just kind of playing this narrative where these extra 3 days he has to rest is going to help out his rib a little bit, and we might see like a more early season version of him. Just because like the last few weeks he's not been the rookie we've seen like at the beginning of the year. And then the rest, I really just don't have any takes right now. Like I'm kind of just like blindly clicking right now. Like I said, I have Marv, but besides that, Worthy, high team total, Ferg. I'm a sloppy for Jake Ferguson, and then Slick Rick. I explained my thesis with the Niners there. So
4 rookies in the lineup, man. I like it.
Hey, post by rookie bump for all these guys have had their bump.
For everybody.
For everyone.
You get a bump. You get a bump.
It was good to see Worthy find the end zone though, for real. Like
not for me, man. I was sweating that so hard. I was like, there was a team that was 20 behind me that had Worthy, Cook, and Patty, and somehow didn't catch up. Man, that was disgusting. But I'm interested in Worthy this week. They'll have a high team total. It's against the Panthers. We saw his usage get back up to scale. We saw D-Hop go down a little bit, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do a Kelsey thing where they preserve him until the playoffs, where he's not like a true full-time player until when it really matters, because Juju came back last week or yesterday and ate into a lot of his usage. I think he ran like 50-60% of snaps. So that's something to monitor. Obviously, his targets per route run is probably pretty high because when he is out there, he is getting the looks. But I was assuming by now he'd be a full-time player, but they might just be playing it kind of like Kelsey, because he came into the season with that knee injury and wasn't good towards the beginning of the season. So maybe they're being a little conservative there.
Checks out, man. Nezzy, what'd you line up here?
Yeah, I did a little Patty Mahomes double against the Panthers. I think, traditionally you see Mahomes in a really soft spot and you think it's just, the Kareem Hunt special, but, Worthy getting run and Hopkins, another week to get acclimated with Mahomes. I think this could be a big Mahomes week, coming off a loss too. I think Mahomes off a loss. I don't have the stat news in front of me, but I'm going to say that he's a monster off a loss. You don't see a lot of that in the sample, but I'm going to guess Mahomes off a loss is a bad man. Kobe Shorts, real quick, just a disclaimer. Kobe Shorts, please get off my dick. Please get off my dick. Thank you. My team: Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, running back Bucky Irving, and then at wide receiver we got DK Metcalf and Rome Odunze, who 10 targets with the new OC there.
Steve Martin-Gallon, baby, the dink method, the best bit in the business right now.
All right, established $1 million.
Yeah.
His black plan with Rome was it was fucking hilarious. Man, it was so good.
The briefs written down and hammering the table for Rome. Love it, dude.
Yeah, I really like this Bucky Irving price, man. I think the Buccaneers are just so much of a better team than the Giants, and Bucky and positive game scripts are those are the games you want to play Bucky, man. And I think you can. I don't know how much steam he's going to get, so I'm going to keep taking him at this range. But I really like my Bucky pick.
Yeah, I like it too. I was just looking at the Rachaad White going undrafted as well in the 20s there. It's nice to see that Sean Tucker kind of got iced last time out before the bye. So you knew it was kind of like a 3-headed monster. It might just be 2 now. And then you just go eye test on Bucky as pure rusher. He's looked better. And, you go favorable game script and out of the bye, which hopefully gets him healthy because he was dealing with that Q tag for a little bit there too with the foot. So now all of a sudden, okay, whatever, bye rookie bump, whatever.
Post-bye rookie bump.
Dave does the thing. There you go. Bucky Irving, same mantra there. I like it, Nez. I did Christian McCaffrey. Isaiah Pacheco was an awful pick. Juwan Jennings, Hunter Henry, Brock Purdy. I'm doubling, tripling. What it is to dink to take Rome is me taking Purdy doubles. So we're not quitting now, Nez. And then I just, Jordan Addison, 8
Free
targets,
3.
Scored a touchdown. He's hurt. He got hurt, didn't come back. I'll just take him in the last round, and maybe we stay on the clock, or maybe it turns out to be a little bit of a value later in the week. Who knows?
Who is this Kobe Shorts guy? I like him.
Yeah, he's fun.
I like you, Kobe.
Kobe's
he's on my dick a little too much today, but he's a regular.
I really, really like Crutch's team. I think that's a super sharp team that's going to project really well.
That's a Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, Aaron Jones, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Ertz, who had the 15.7, and I remember it so vividly because Will Dissly decided to outscore him with like 16 and ruin the primetime Palooza slate. And then Anthony Richardson, who was one of the ones we pinpointed right there, where it was like, yeah, this one's gonna rise after people realized that he actually played good.
Yeah, that's a sick team. Good for you, Crutches.
Yeah. Let's do a rapid fire on the NBA here. We'll let Dave rock. Dave, appreciate you coming on, bro. Always fun to do this. Welcome back to the Winner's Circle. Welcome back to the Dog Bowl entry number 2. Gonna see you down in Dallas in almost
2 weeks, man. Time. Yeah, 3 weeks. It's coming up, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a wonderful time when I'm on the show. I always have an absolute blast. Go check out some stuff on ETR. Check out my Twitter, and I'll be back in a week from now. So
yeah, and your handle right on Twitter is D_D4VE, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so letting people know so that way they can find you on there. And maybe we'll see you next week if I don't find my way to sweeping 3 seats.
Tommy DeVito. I want to see with Tommy DeVito. I'll have some this week. Anyways, fellas, I will see y'all soon, if not next week. Peace, fellas. Thank you.
Peace, Dave. All right, Nez. Dude, we got a crazy hoop slate. We got a crazy one. It's a lot to talk through. We've already done an hour and a half here. We'll do kind of like the abbreviated version of it. I'm pulling up the most recent NBA injury report. We probably got one 7 minutes ago for the 3:30 Eastern. We'll pull up the Underdog NBA as well to go alongside it. It is 8-game slate, 16 teams, but 10 of them, Nez, are on a back-to-back. So we are dealing with a whole bunch of ambiguity and Q tags, which is #hoops at its finest, hoops with 9 O's in capital letters here on a Monday. Also, reminder that we have NBA Cup tomorrow, Tuesday there. So like those games for front end back-to-back teams, kind of like, I don't know, maybe this factors in to some of the rest a little bit. We got D-tag on Embiid already. We got D-tag on Sabonis already. Yeah, wild slate here. I've got 50 done. How about you, bro?
Let's see. I did 20. I did my buzzer beaters. I got 42 layup lines, 4 crossovers, 23 hoops, and a partridge and a pear tree. So let me update these exposures and get a feel of where I'm at. But no, man, this is a crazy one. I think just off the rip macro, picks like 4 through 12, I feel like can all be interchanged. This is a slate where, unfortunately, like I'm gonna have to auto draft to get my volume in, but like I if I could really help it, man, this is one that I don't feel comfortable autoing because I don't feel like uber strong about that range that I described. I think this is one where if you really want to try to win first, you can set yourself up for some really interesting, unique combos that I think project like just as good as the ADPs currently line up. So I would describe it as a very dense slate today.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of in line with you there. I think you could take your notion of 4 through 12 and you could stretch it even further and just be like, it's Giannis and now what kind of deal. Because, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is a really good basketball player and he's been really nice for the last 2 weeks.
Clear
or whatever.
102.
Clear 102? Okay. All
like,
right.
Without question, the 102.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no DeRozan there, no Sabonis, or most likely no Sabonis. It's a D tag, not an out tag. Evergreen reminder there. Have you fucked around and found out in any regard with the D tags? Have you considered like Embiid in the last or Sabonis in the last with the D tag?
No, I'm not taking any unswappable picks, but
Okay.
I do have 14% Embiid from when he was a questionable tag before he decided, I don't really feel like playing today.
Yeah, it's an illness listing there. I brought up Underdog's Twitter here with their most recent update from 3. There is a new injury report since then that I'll suss through that I've pulled up. But Stephen Curry did go through shoot around, which is a nice indication that he's trending in the right direction to play tonight, but wouldn't read too heavy into that. Miles Turner, if he can't go tonight with the Q tag, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do in terms of size for the Pacers, because they have nobody with size, man. Like they have all their bigs are hurt, so it'll be interesting what they do. They'll obviously have to play small, maybe do some Pascal at the 5 kind of stuff. It'll be a really interesting rotation to parse through.
I think if we miss Turner, you're looking at what, 30 Obi Toppin minutes, like probably more.
Yeah, I mean, like he's still coming back from something. What did he do last time out?
Let's see here.
Because they've been mixing in for size purposes at one point there. That
nothing
Johnny Furphy, yeah, like he's their biggest player left at like 6'9".
Yeah, but Obi's the next 5 up. So I don't know that you can draft Obi, but like, I mean, I think he's gonna. You're gonna notice him in projections. I think if we get no Miles Turner, but really what you're gonna notice is like, oh wow, like Pascal Siakam is a top 10 pick.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's gonna shoot up, right?
Yeah.
Like big time.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting stuff there. Yeah. Magikarp, Jarris Walker as potential. I think he starts today in that lineup. Probably not a guy that I'm touching anyways, but just like as a guy. So that's one of the higher. Yeah. He's going to be in the starting lineup. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting because that's one of the higher total games on the slate. But basically, as a reflection of that, like RJ and Pirtle are going in like the second round over and over again kind of deal because of that second, third round, stuff like that, depending on who's in your drafts. But I saw some of the robots taking like RJ at 10 and Pirtle at 8, stuff like that. So Yeah, very interesting
Yeah.
matchup all around there from what could be both depleted and bad basketball teams and no size to contend with Jakob Pertl basically.
Yeah, I've got 20% RJ and 20% Pirtle even. So I love that spot. Love that
Yeah,
spot.
that does feel good there. Yeah, Nez, some of the other stuff in terms of injuries and stuff that you're looking through, we got the Bulls. I'm just looking. Patrick Williams listed as probable, so we'll probably get the same thing from the Bulls. But Giddey hasn't been closing, so I don't know. Maybe Levine goes every single draft, but maybe some Kobe White in the last round could feel kind of nice. There, here I'll bring up the injury report. Pistons, they gave us a probable tag on Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey projecting decently as like a 6th round play there. Yeah, Pacers are going to have tons of minutes to go around if Miles Turner can't play, because that means like, man, we should be getting over on Benny Math. Maybe it brings in Obi Toppin. Maybe it brings in Jarris Walker in the last round, as you alluded to, or as Magikarp alluded to, because obviously no Naismith, no Nemhard, and then they got no fives basically.
Yeah.
So that's going to open a lot up there. Any love for Grady Dick on the Raptors stuff? He's had a couple nice games. Yeah,
I mean his box scores are like he's either 20 or 40, but in this spot against the Pacers, I mean, this dude has shown a ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, like projections be damned, dude. He has shown us a ceiling like multiple times this season. And projections don't like him, but like he's shown us in a young season multiple times to have a ceiling, and now he gets the Pacers in a 240 total. Like this guy deserves 6th round consideration, untouched, just untouched. So I mean, I say that, and I don't have a lot of Grady Dick because I am like leaning into the projections to start. Just want to see how he trends. I mean, he as of right now, like nobody's playing him. So there's a chance that 40 from Dick is what you need, or you know you could be dodging a lot of landmines in the 6th potentially.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I this feels like one of those slates where you're dodging a lot of landmines in like the 4th and 5th too. You know, like this slate has so much ambiguity right now that it could break so many different directions. It is a good like late draft, like slam at lock kind of style slate. Once we have information, that's how I feel about it. And I think that's the read from the field too, based on fill rates. Maybe that has something to do with primetime Palooza being up as well. Next one up, Sixers and Miami there. We are going to have Jimmy Buckets coming back tonight. He finally decided, man, I can't keep staying out like this. Tyler Hero is cooking too hard. I have to come back and earn that money for next year. He's decided that tonight is the night. This feels so paced down and slog on paper, but then all of a sudden you take Embiid out of it, and I don't know, maybe I want to get over on George in a big way. I want to get over on TikTok boy Jared McCain. Yeah, man, I'm really torn on what to do with this game, because it's going to have like a 20-point lower total than everywhere else. And Heat are always so hard to project when everybody's in, but like Bam goes in the 2nd round, Hero goes in the 4th, and Buckets pushes up to the 5th and 6th every single time there. If we project Jimmy Buckets for full minutes, he's one of the most misplaced on the slate. If you think George has all this usage with Embiid out, he's probably mispriced right now. Same with McCann. What are you doing here?
I have a lot of Bam right now.
Okay.
I think Jimmy, we jumped on the show like as soon as we got the Jimmy active tab there. So it's, you know, right now, I don't know how often he's going in the 6th. So I have some like Jimmy swaps available because I know he was not being drafted as a Q tag. I am concerned about the minutes. I am concerned about the matchup. I think we're looking at like a 26-point Jimmy Butler game here, but Jimmy Butler can also put up like really annoying 50 balls. So he's you know, he's probably a good pick, but also like Tyler Hero doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Heat right now as well. All roads lead back to Bam for me. Bam project, like here's the thing. Bam's PRA typically flirts with like 30. give or take 30 on the
Yep.
PRA. It's at 35 today. And with the give or take 3 stocks that's in Bam's bag as well, and the fact that Bam projects below these guys that go behind him, and I know projection bros are going to fade Bam.
Yeah.
I want a Bam stance.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it, dude, because like the handling will be most impacted on Hero opposed to being impacted on Bam with Butler back. And then you get the flip side of no Embiid on the other end of the floor there is he's dealing with Drummond, which isn't good, but I doubt Drummond starts. They haven't been doing the Drummond start stuff, and he's been cut pretty significantly. So you get Yabu on Bam, and like Yabu's kind of like a little bit more of a stretch 5 and like can shoot it, like that sort of thing, opposed to like banging bodies with a big ass Drummond in the paint. It does set up like anecdotally for like a decent Bam matchup.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just, I see where the stars align, and, you gotta use projections, not just as a guide. Well, use them as a guide, but to know when and where to disagree.
Okay.
That's where I disagree.
Okay. Anything to say on the Sixers side about getting overweight on George or getting as much McCain? I always say, is it McCain or McCann?
McCain.
McCain. Yeah, getting TikTok boy in your life today.
I mean, I think you just play him until you don't see it anymore. He projects well, so he's he's definitely a click in the 6th round that I'll be making. I think there's 2 things at play here. One is the total sucks. It's terrible. It's a very low total, but the usage is pretty condensed for Philly at the same time. So it's a low total, but we know who's putting up fantasy points. And Paul George has big time stock upside. Potentially, he's got to be at like 95% health at this point, right? I mean, maybe he's not, but the minutes at least.
The minutes the restriction's been removed. Like that's what Nurse's quote was. So I mean, I thought he looked really good in the first game that I saw alongside Embiid, or sorry, second game we saw from him alongside Embiid. I thought he looked really good, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it makes sense, right? I mean, he's like the primary scorer for them other than McCain. So I would probably try to have a above average stance on Paul George. I don't think I do yet. Not yet. I'm like even with the field right now.
Knicks and Wiz up next in the Garden. Balil Coulibaly is questionable there. Kuzma has returned and not played Kuzma style minutes yet, kind of like in that like 28, 32, like that kind of area. He's a guy that's going to project on models and stuff better than how he's actually performed in recent memory, just because of basically that exact factor. Like they haven't really caught up to the fact that he hasn't been playing full rotation. If he does play full rotation here, he looks like a pretty good click in the 6th. Poole goes every single time. I was doing some push-up Brunson stuff because no Miles McBride. Brunson, I was like just clicking over and over again in like the 8-9 range, a little bit ahead of ADP there. And then Cat goes at like 4 or 5, and rightfully so. What do you like, dude?
I like the Knicks.
Yeah.
I really like the Knicks. And, since we're on the show, let me just let you guys know currently, I mean, I gotta reevaluate this, man. Like Jordan Poole is just not in my player pool. Just
interesting. Okay.
Just not in it. There are a dozen other players I like more than Jordan Poole today. So if that's the case, there's a chance 100% of drafts have somebody taking Jordan Poole, and if my thesis is correct, then he's killing 1 out of 6 teams every draft. And that's, to me, that's like a pretty powerful, signal, right? If I think that, then just removing him is smart. And when I say removing him, I mean like if I was in the 6th round and he was there, I would consider him. But like, dude, he's going like really early. Like,
yeah, he's
really early, and I want no part of his price.
He's currently got a 30 ADP. I had him listed at 34 in my first run of ranks, and I got him at 20%.
Okay.
So I think other people are doing what you're doing and pushing him down too, because as Magikarp alludes to here, pretty sharp with Malcolm Brogdon coming back there, who was part of that. He was part of the trade for Denny Avdia, right?
I think so. No,
Yeah, it
like
was take
yeah.
Brogdon's contract and take not Khalil Bobby, Bub Carrington. It was Carrington and Brogdon for Avdia or something like that. I
Yeah.
probably butchering it.
Everybody wants to know if baddies are courtside at MSG.
Ooh,
Everybody wants to
always.
know. There always are, right? But
There's
do they
always
show
body
out
sports.
but do they show out for the whiz? That's the question. Do they save it for LeBron? I don't think Anne Hathaway is going to be there with her $1 million necklace on this
Yeah.
game, getting ran up on by OG. I don't think so. But yeah, if he's so it sounds like in the time it took for me to do drafts to get to this point in the show, that pool has been adjusted by the field pretty strongly. Okay. So let me yeah, he's in my player pool. I just never saw him in the 6th. So
got it. Yeah. No, checks out there, dude. Bucks, we're getting Dame Lillard back. I think Giannis is 101 by like a landslide. Rockets, this is interesting. Whitmore's listed. Okay, never mind. So it's just nobody's listed for the Rockets. So Rockets are going to be like full health, including why am I blanking on backup 5? Steven Adams, which cuts in a little bit to some of the Sengun splits. It's something that we've been noticing that when Adams is healthy, he actually does cut a couple minutes from Sengun's like ceiling output. So yeah, I think that one's just kind of noteworthy. And then Dame back for Bucks here, coming off of the concussion protocol. So it wasn't something that was like a physical basketball ailment. So I assume he can return to full, but yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, they're 3-point favorites against the Rockets, which like if you've been paying attention, that's a pretty big deal, man. The Rockets have been playing excellent ball.
Yeah.
The Bucks have been literally Giannis and nobody else. So Dame right now is probably a great pick. Is how like I'm reading that. Giannis is the 101, so there's nothing really to say there. But Dame is probably a pretty good pick at his ADP right now, given that spread. And like you said, the Rockets, man, are so deep that it does make it tough to get to them. I don't know, Fred, your boy JVV, his ADP has to have fallen. He opened super. It's still at 22.
Still at 22, man. Yeah. So he was what you were doing with Poole. I was doing with Fred VanVleet. Like I was just kind of soft fading this ADP, and I had him pulled down at like 30 something, and I basically have none of it thus far because of that. I think the Dame one's really interesting because would you rather have Steph or would you rather have Dame, right?
Well, I think Dame because I don't know that Steph is a lock to play.
Okay. Yeah.
And they project pretty similarly. So
all right.
I love Steph though.
Kind of like appropriately priced here. I was taking both of them over the Jalen Johnson and Sengun tier there. And then I kind of had the Raptors guys pushed up where they are. I had Harden pushed up a good amount for one run. I had Brunson pushed up a good amount for one run.
That's what I mean, man. Like you can like really interchange that range of players.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting day in terms of combos in that like portion where it's like I want to get access to some hand-built combos in that range as you were alluding to.
Yeah, like I think the craziest thing I would do is take Jalen Johnson at the 1-2 turn.
Okay. All right. So you like the spot for Jalen Johnson?
Love it, man. Love it.
Okay, interesting. I was kind of soft fading. I was like the Keegan Murray treatment, and
buddy,
I don't know.
No.
And like Atlanta has so much handling back with Trey and like the emergence of the Dyson Daniels handling role. I don't know. I was kind of soft fading Jalen Johnson.
No, these Kings, man, are like old school Kings where they're without DeRozan and Sabonis. Like this is a team that I want to attack. And Jalen Johnson is a great way to do that. Like
we haven't got to do that. Yeah, we haven't got to that game yet, but just in general, like, do you like Keegan Murray in like the 5/6 where he's going then as well?
Okay. Yeah, really like Keegan Murray.
Okay. So you like that game in general more than like the field does right now?
I can't believe the field doesn't like this game.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I genuinely like can't understand it. So, you know, and I think I'm mixing up Cade and Trey a little bit after, you know, the cat pick, but
Okay.
man, I swear this is like Trey's 60 ball game, especially after the duds that he's been putting up. Nobody wants. I mean, we are clicking him because we understand his range of outcomes, but like people are less likely to click him at ADP than to click him, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little scared of like the midday queue. That's not actually a midday queue because they're on the back to back and the injury report hasn't come out for the Hawks yet, which would make Jalen look better too if we do end up getting that Trey queue. But like, it's only a second game back to back.
That's a good call because I mean the Hawks aren't good, but the Kings at home, and I mean the Kings are 5-point favorites, so maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just the fact that I mean, but
the Hawks are awful. Maybe that's just what the spread's indicating. But yeah, what is that 5% spread telling us right now? Yeah, this is interesting because E. White just saying that he got a Trey faller to 10 somehow. Like,
wow,
that is pretty significant, a faller, but like I don't, some little portion of me, like I was running lineups or I was running drafts there while we were doing the show with Dave. I've done 50 now, and I have very little Trey because I had Trey down at like 9 or something like that.
I get it, right? I mean, like I think when you look at the pick'ems on Trey, like you know they're not like amazing. It's 38 PRA. He's gonna have a lot of assists.
Good.
It's good, but like I would expect Trey to have like a 40 PRA here. And when you look at the guy, like that's the same as RJ Barrett. So
yeah,
similar spot, same projection in that regard. So you know, I get it. I get doing the Trey fade because you know there's just a strong chance that I mean, like ultimately, like these guys might all just cancel each other out.
It's one of those classic slates where there's just so many moving pieces with the 10 games on the back-to-back, right? And NBA Cup looming. While we were talking, we got Yusuf Nurkic ruled out there, so I don't think that brings like Mason Plumlee in at the 5, but obviously into our player pool necessarily. It brings him into their starting lineup at the 5, but into our player pool in the 6th round. But it's just kind of like a reminder that Suns are playing pretty shorthanded right now without Beal, without Nurk, and without Durant. So now all of a sudden we might get some Tyus in the 6th round, or we might get some point Booker that needs to be pushed up even higher than 6 here. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, the spot is just like really ugly for you know it's the
Orlando
Magic.
Defense.
Yeah, but Booker projects really well, so I get it. I totally get it. After his ADP by a couple spots, like I took my medicine, got some teams with Booker at ADP. Give me Franz over him.
Yeah, Franz has been playing incredible the last 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks without Paulo. Yeah.
It's just more fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're likely without Wendell Carter Jr. again tonight. So some 6th round, you know, just if you're playing the usage, it's going to be a low total game. It's defensive game, anytime defensive and somewhat slower when you're dealing with Orlando most of the time. But I just thinking through some 6th round stuff there. Like, will you get to Goga at all going up against Mason Plumlee now?
I wasn't thinking about Goga, but I respect Goga.
It might be a deep scroll the F down, but I do tend to overvalue centers in the 6th round. I mean, like, why take Goga when you can take Duran, who's just sitting there, kind of thing, against Vooch in a pace-up spot?
Yeah. Oh, so Bogdanovic, he's still a Hawk, right?
I get my Bogdanoviches mixed up, but yeah, that means the Hawks report is in right now.
He's off the injury report.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's wait. No, I think we
He's
just
not going to
got
be in the player pool
yeah.
because of the way he was like missing games and the way that the stat providers have worked this year. Guys that miss games, like just like not listed on the roster.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there goes some more handling, right?
Yeah, that makes me like Jalen Johnson less.
Yeah. I mean, like you factor in him best ball packs are fuzzy. Yeah. Does it say anything about Hunter? I think Hunter's
No, I just got a notification from UDNBA.
okay.
That's all.
Okay. All right, Nez, anyone else that we should talk about? I guess related to injuries. That was kind of like the main theme of this segment and stuff. Like if Steph misses, are you getting to anything from the Warriors? Like will you push up pods? Will you take I mean Wiggins seems kind of like the safest for minutes and to start. Will you take any like Wiggins in the last round or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I just think this slate is too deep to try to take the next man up for the Warriors. I'm trying to see what things look like right now. Yeah, I really don't think so. Like I could think for a second about Buddy Hield, but that's about it.
Okay, sounds good to me, bro. Guys, we got like 230 of us still hanging out. Do us a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're hanging out every single day of the week at 2 p.m. Eastern and 2:30 p.m. on Fridays there. Some of them fall behind the paywall. The paywall stream will most likely be Thursday and Friday night this week, I believe. That's kind of like our thought process. Yeah, and then next week we'll be kind of mixing and matching and revamping because obviously there'll be a big emphasis on football with the Thanksgiving slates and yeah, some people have family commitments and stuff like that. So maybe I'll be doing some solo stuff there. But yes, thank you, our guy E White here. But yeah, do us a favor, hit the like, subscribe, notification stuff. Nez, in terms of 6th round and scroll the F down kind of treatment, some of these back end guys. We're starting to see ADPs push up. So Ivy's been pushing up, McCain's been pushing up, Butler's been pushing up. Matherin should be in the same vein there. Anyone else you kind of want to talk through and get over on that is late here?
What about the Remember Me game for Kevin Huerter?
Okay, sure.
A lot of minutes available for Huerter in a really, really high total. I mean, there's a ceiling there against Phoenix. I think you can get 40 out of Huerter today. I would be considering him in the 6th every now and then. You know, I don't think I'd have a strong Huerter position, but him and Keegan, man, I think are pretty solid picks. And I keep seeing Keegan in the 6th round, and I like it. I like it a lot. So I'll keep doing the Keegan stuff. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's pushed up a lot, like a ton. Yeah, geez. Yeah, the only other sneaky suggestion I would say is like Amen Thompson is just an efficiency monster. And the role is increasing, but he's not ever going to get projected for 30 minutes. But if they decide to leave him in a lot more than usual in any game, like you're gonna make probably some money on that because no one's taking Amen Thompson, and I understand why, right? Like we don't know what the minutes are, and you really want to be sure of minutes when you're making any selection here. But like the dude's a freak. The dude's an absolute freak, and they continue to use him more and more, just like very sparingly this far in the season.
Sure, yeah.
The fact that they're dogs in this game, I can just see him getting more run because he is so incredibly positive for the Rockets when he's on the floor. So that's like my sneaky, moonshot 6th round pick is Amen Thompson today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. We're getting a question about Okongwu in the chat here in terms of, no Sabonis, probably Trey Lyles starts there. Can you do anything funky with Atlanta? I'm kind of the mindset that there's too much handling and too many mouths to feed with everybody active here, but I get the thesis. Do you like it?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's too thin. Too thin for our game, too thin for our site. What about on the other side there with the Kings? Like you said, Kevin Herter, will you get any Malik Monk's still out as well, right? So it's like, will you get any Keon Ellis as like first man up, sixth man up, or Doug McDermott, guy who can shoot the lights out? Trey Lyles at the 5 playing 24 minutes, still too thin for our game.
Yeah, I wouldn't take those guys, but I just want to give a shout out to Trey Lyles because I do like Trey Lyles. He's gonna play. He's gonna play the most minutes there. Big guy could find himself to some stocks. Can like sneaky fill it up, but like generally just not a good basketball player in real life. He's had some ceiling games in his past, man. Like not too far removed, maybe like a season, maybe 2 seasons from like having a stretch of some like really strong fantasy outputs, but like otherwise, no, it's kind of tough, man. Like this slate's really, really loaded. So I mean, like you're better off taking like one of the starting 5 of the Knicks.
Okay. Yeah, no, I respect that. And I mean, Knicks have been running so tight, and they're probably going to run even tighter without Miles McBride today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Nez, let's hop in here, talk through it on the fly, see how some things air out. I do like the fact that Ahmed Thompson has been playing some good basketball. He did start one game when they were like missing a bunch of people, and he did play well, but he didn't like play like break the slate well.
Well, he was, I think he had like 20 points going into the 4th. And then in the last like 50 seconds, 30 seconds, he put up like 15 fantasy points. It was heartbreaking for some of our friends, but
yeah, it was crazy. I'll get you Mr. Good Boys in the chat here. Can someone explain to Johnny Footballs why Miles Bridges is projected for 40?
Because he always scores 40. Hope that helps. Like that's all he's done in the last like 2 weeks is score 40 fantasy points.
Yeah. Hey, he's such an interesting basketball player where it's like at times I'm like, oh yeah, he can run it up on stocks. On other times he can run it up by shooting. Other times he's Hallie and he's just completely fucking invisible.
They're such a good playoff team, but like can they stay healthy the whole season? Like that's the problem.
Well, hey, you're gonna have a hard time staying healthy playing everyone 40 to 45 a night.
I agree.
Josh Hart's knee ailments are going to be on the rise all of a sudden.
This is typically what you see 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Did I say Miles?
I don't know, but just an evergreen reminder. This is so traditionally what you see 1, 2, 3. The models are pushing up Cade today. What do you like here, Nez?
I like Trae Young or Franz Wagner.
Okay. I do feel more comfortable clicking Trey's name now that we got the injury report. We got 37 from him yesterday. We got the injury report. He's not listed on it.
Yeah, they're fully healthy.
Yeah.
Other than like Vit, I believe the dude's name is.
Yep. This is one of the first times we're gonna see like full Atlanta. All right, you told me earlier you kind of like Bam today. Are you pushing him over Hallie and Brunson here? Do you like Brunson? Do you like this is the spot where I've been taking Harden sometimes. What do you like?
You can really take whoever here. I think Brunson is pretty interesting. I feel like, Brunson's just due. We just haven't seen it yet. People haven't given up, but I have taken Bam here quite a few times.
All right, I'll go along with your thesis here and take Bam, aka Never Bam, aka guaranteed 35 ball, and then randomly every 5 games he puts up 65, and you need him.
I just don't think you're going to see this pairing a lot by people that are using projections. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Trey and Bam.
Okay, that checks out. The 2 push-up guys right now, I think we're kind of seeing from Big Game Dame here is the Cade and Harden. Like that's going to be like kind of like common push-up guys opposed to pushing up Bam. I think that's kind of what's been taking place. That Booker Franz pairing is going to be pretty heavily repeated in my estimation.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one there.
Yeah, there goes Jakob and if no Turner there, that makes him even stronger.
Oh yeah, if you get no Turner, Turner's a very polarizing play on this slate because they're gonna need him for the Jakob stuff. So if he does play, he could play 38, like Dame goes there, Steph goes there, Crutches is keeping Jalen Johnson up there. Sengun, Paul George, we could push up with no Embiid or potentially no Embiid. Yeah, what do you like?
I think Paul George here.
Okay, do you like it more than Sengoat?
I think so. The Şengün stuff with Steven Adams playing that's confirmed, right? He's got a Q tag right now. He got removed from the injury report. Okay.
Wow. So Pascal goes up to 19. I was going to suggest Pascal next up there. Fred VanVleet's kind of like a soft fade. We could do the Turner Q tag stuff because he will project well, but we kind of never Turner, especially with the Q, let him fall a bit. I think Vooch is kind of like a tier here.
I would go Vooch or Turner.
Who do you prefer?
Kind of Turner.
Okay.
It's
I
all
got
right.
Vooch. That's all good.
It's okay. I think the swaps at this range are good. So I would take. But Vooch is a good pick too. Vooch projects pretty well. Mm-hmm. Shout out Dyson Daniels, man. I think this is a slate where I don't think I'm going to take him.
Dude, I've full faded him like every single slate, and he's killed me. Like it's crazy. The stock monster.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you're going to be right. You can't do this. It's so unsustainable, man. I mean, it's fun. Yeah. But it's so unsustainable.
Some good stuff in the chat right now. Nick with the Pirtle against no center might just be the most let's not overthink it moment ever. Like up tempo, no opposing center. Like that's all we got to say. He's had back-to-back ceiling games too, or he had ceiling game then not, or something like that. This one with the Mikal stuff, Tyler saying that he's always going to get those 40 points, but he hasn't reached his projection a single game this season. If that's truthful, I believe it. If it's purely anecdotal, it's awesome.
I'm not tracking it, but that's hilarious.
I'm not tracking it, but you're right. 100%. Respook flexing his bags and saying he got a Siakam in the last round earlier today. That is
check on the vital signs of that draft. I don't know if that draft's still living.
All right, Nez. Big Game Dame is going to make a selection here at 4, and then we're going to have a decision. Tyler Hero falling.
Did you take
Dame? Dame did not fall to him. He ended up with Steph.
You got to take Dame the second round, buddy, if that's going to be your name.
Tyler Hero goes here. We could do the Bridges thing. We could do the Jaden Ivey. He's going to project well. We could do Jared McCann with did I say it wrong again?
Yeah.
Jared McCain. It's because there's a. Okay, never mind. Jared McCain or buckets.
Let's do Jimmy. Or actually, no, McCann. I just realized that we had Bam, so I would rather do a McCain George
too. Yeah. Okay.
Because they're gonna play with each other a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say I keep messing up the Jared McCann because Jared McCann plays for the Kraken and used to play for the Canucks, and now all right. We got Jimmy Butler in the 6th if we want it. We could do the Bridges thing. We could do Jordan Poole, Kuzma if we want to pick a winner there. Kobe White with Vooch, Kevin Huerter, as you alluded to. Jen Duran feels okay. Suggs, who do you like?
I kind of like Suggs, but you got Jimmy there. I'm cool with Jimmy.
Let's do Jimmy. Suggs is fine. I like Suggs, and it's no doubt that it's a depleted Suns team. today, but I can't in good faith take him over Jimmy Butler.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Just out of principle, it makes sense.
All right, we got yeah, this is where I'm at too. Like we talked about the implications of ball
Pretty
coming
good
back
shout.
a couple minutes ago. It feels like a good fade on Dyson Daniels. Like that's kind of what my soft fade on Jalen Johnson was, but it's a high team total and it's a pace up spot with two fast teams, right? So
yeah,
it's a tough
do you have
fade.
the board still? Where did
Pardon me?
Zubac go here?
Zubac went at 26 there.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember when he was splitting 24s with Mason Plumlee and somebody else? Like they were like
horrible. And
dude,
like the Lakers didn't use him well.
Oh my god, they were playing like 18 minutes a night and stuff like this, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's just run this old school 2-man game like as if he's like DeAndre Jordan and Chris Paul. Oh yeah, we got Harden and Zubac. Let's just run that 2-man game and pretend it's 5 years ago.
Simple stuff, man. I like him today. I like him today at that ADP.
Easy returned from his trip away, and he goes straight into a 24-hour stream. Absolutely. Brett Boy, we gave you a shout out earlier about the puck stuff. Mad congrats on the win. No puck draft today. I am low-key fucking exhausted, and we've been on here for like 2.5 hours, so probably going to call it there. And yeah, no, Tyler, we're saying the same thing as you, dude. Yeah, we know what you were intending there. How he's projected for 40 and he never reaches his projection. He falls just under. We got you. We got you. It's a great bet, and even if it's wrong, it's right. Like even if
exactly.
Yeah. Jordan Poole at 34 seems palatable there. Kuzma late. Jaden Ivey, man, his second highest usage on the team right now. And there's a little bit of overlap. Plus, he runs the second unit by himself. Jaden Ivey feels like a good basketball player right now. Marcus Sasser was kind of like a pain in our ass last year with a little bit of that, but he feels like a good click. Keegan Murray all the way up at 25 now, Nez, for Big Poppy there. So if you want to get ahead of the Keegan Murray stuff, might have missed our window. Pascal at 19, Matherin, good Canadian kid, getting pushed up with the potential usage gone from Turner. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like it. I have a lot of Benny math too, I will say, but I think that ship might have sailed because he was like not going drafted for a while.
Oh yeah. Now he's gonna start going with the Turner Q.
Yeah, unfortunately, he projects pretty nicely.
Yeah. T Cage, in reference to why people are taking the Ivy and pushing up the Cade Cunningham, is we talked last year about the flow chart against the Bucks guards. Well, the flow chart this year is taking guards versus the Bulls. So those guard on guard matchups are print fest as of this far this season. All right, Nez, from the 105, Trey, Bam, PG 13. Vooch, fuck, McCain, not Jared McCann.
It's right there. Just read the fucking name, dude. Just read it. What are you struggling with?
I'm not that smart. And Jimmy Buckets.
I believe in you.
And Jimmy Buckets coming back tonight for the revenge game, trying to get paid and trying to remind the world that Tyler Hero hasn't completely lost him of a job. There you go.
That's a good team. That's a pretty good team. The robots are going to like that team.
Yeah, the one thing we also didn't talk about, Nez, with the narrative street is Pascal Siakam.
Yeah,
Remember Me game with the Raptors there. No Miles Turner, and Remember Me plays like 38 at the 5 a little bit. Oh, no.
The models need to Remember Me input, and until then, we still have an edge, John.
Until then, our pro science will reign supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! All right, well, pour one out for. Oh, you know what? Fuck, Lou Dog's right. Monday Night Football pick'em. Do you have anything that was jumping out to you? Lou Dog's 100% right here.
I mean, Something with Joe Mixon for sure.
Joe misdemeanor?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe we got to slide him though. 21 and a half rushing attempts is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Two touchdowns for Joe Mixon.
2 touchdown slide for Mixon. I bet you. What do you think it turns to?
1.4.
Yeah, same. Like I think it turns into like lower frequency than. Oh, okay, 204.
Well, let's
Okay.
go. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
A little slide piece on Joe misdemeanor finding the end zone twice. We did say that we liked the CJ Stroud game stuff. Dave was talking about how he liked 303 ceiling game for CJ.
I think you just maybe do the higher 239 on CJ. Like, I think that can all work.
Yeah, I'm not sure it pairs well with the Mixon 2 touchdown. So maybe we pair something from the other side with the Mixon 2 touchdown, and then we let's pair something with Mixon, and then let's do kind of like a game 1 with CJ.
Okay.
Yeah, what's Mixon's first touchdown? Yeah, okay. So we should do Nico and CJ as something. And we should do, dude, 2 of our favorite plays are staring us right in the face right here. You said the BAM PRA was too low.
Well, I thought it was just, I don't know if it was too low. I just thought it was.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was not being accounted for enough in drafts.
Because I'm looking at this right now, and I'm like, Jared McCain, BAM on the PRA, gets us to 12.
Why are we not saying
BBM?
football? You want to?
Yeah, we'll mix and match. I just don't think Mixon pairs well with anything from that game. If it's a Mixon game, it's a Mixon game, you know? So when we started with 2 touchdown Mixon, like what does that pair well with?
You're thinking too logically, man.
I can't turn it off.
You need to just tell yourself that they're going to get smacked and that this can all work. But let's do this. We'll do this.
Okay. I like this. That was fun. I mean, this is
one in the books.
This is thin. You know, it's a 12x for a reason. But like that one seems like fun.
Yeah. We got Nico, no restrictions. Not that we didn't assume that already, but
okay.
Let's
you like
do
the receptions, the touchdowns, or the yardage on Nico?
Yardage.
Okay. Nico, CJ, touchdown slider to 2.5.
Okay.
We lean into Dave's narrative. CJ's back. Nico's back. It won't hurt the correlation docs as much because we're using touchdowns instead of yardage. And then we pick receiving yards for Rico on the run back. Dump off factory.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
17.5.
Yeah.
Rico.
Slam that shit.
Good. 50 USD.
Ooh.
50 USD. There we go.
Nice.
Nez,
I like those a lot.
I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, I had a good day. You know, just vibes from NFL, vibes from Grey Cup, Nucky's puck game. You know, we had a bunch of wobblies, you know, that sort of thing. Uncle John was hanging out with the nephews at one point too. It was a great day. Everything all slammed into one day kind of deal, right? And I decided, you know, Uncle John's going to spend a couple bucks here, you know, just going to treat himself a little bit. We bought WWE War Games pay-per-view tickets for next Saturday.
Ooh.
There was a flash sale, and it was like the seat beside me. So I bought like club seats, like 15 rows up, right? The seat beside me is like $880, right? And it was like $1,500 a couple weeks ago, right? Like these prices are astronomical. They're insane. I was like, I'm not going to go. The seat right beside me is $880. I got I don't know if you ever seen this deal before on Ticketmaster. It's like me plus 3. So if you pay for 4 seats, you know, you get like the third, you get one seat free basically.
Nice.
Anyways, I got 4 in a row right beside that seat for $790. So I got 4 for the price of 1 seat effectively.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, is it a little like, I don't really want to spend $200 to go watch WWE, but like, when am I ever going to go to a WWE pay-per-view event in my life? Like, and there's rumors, you know, The Rock might be coming. So I was like,
and he's going to come to Vancouver?
Allegedly, yeah. The little bloodline reunion with Roman Reigns. I don't know, man.
Cody Rhodes back?
Oh yeah, Cody Rhodes is always out there, dude.
Damn,
now I gotta buy some t-shirts, dude.
Yeah, you said you're taking your nephews?
No, I don't think so. I don't think my sister will let them go or whatever. I was just hanging out with them, and then I was threatening that I was gonna take them or whatever. And then my sister's like, "No, you're not. Like they're too young for that."
No, they're not.
Yeah,
they're gonna.
I think I'm gonna go with my cousins. 2 of the guys that you met down in Dallas there, and then another buddy.
Oh yeah, that's the crew.
That is the crew. All right, man. Yeah, Canadian kid Johnson. Corey got me.
Everybody's a good Canadian kid. No fact checking.
No fact checking. Oh shoot. Okay, that was a fun one. That was a marathon. Shout out to Dave. Yeah. Appreciate him coming on. Hopefully we could do something in the future here with Sam Olsen and Chip and the likes of all the people. Bound took one down. I mean, so many good people. Patrick Barnes, like so many good people had big wins in NFL this weekend. So mad respect, mad love to you guys. I'm going to try and play catch up. Although I did have a winning weekend, I will say. Decent winning weekend.
Don't let John get hot.
Yeah, don't let them get hot. But I will say that I'm going to try and play catch up in the NBA streets tonight. That's where I'm going to try and earn my winner's circle on this. Yeah, it looks like a fun one. All right, best of luck if you were drafting Primetime Palooza or if you were drafting Hoops. We'll be back tomorrow. Very special show. Different time slot tomorrow, 3 p.m., right, Ness?
That's right.
Yeah, NBA Cup, an NBA-adjacent announcement, a very special guest, and 3 p.m. Eastern. That's what's going down tomorrow.
Yeah, check the Twitter.
Yeah,
check the Twitter for more on that. But we got some fun stuff coming up, guys.
Yeah, and Respook calling his shot. He's coming on the show soon here. Respect it. All right.
Let's go.
Anything else to say, Nez?
No, I'll see you in the NBA lobbies. Best of luck, everybody.
Yeah, likewise. See you in the NBA lobbies. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. For Nez, John, Bash Bros. Peace. The end. I fucking butchered it.